welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the WardiTV Monday, number 64, your weekly dose of open StarCraft. I'm of course just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Once again, as a reminder, this is a replay cast. This event did occur last week. We used to cover this event live, of course, here on the channel, but due to daylight savings hitting Europe, it does start much later here in Australia. It starts at 11 p.m. in Australia, 3 hours from now instead. So it starts very late. It ends incredibly late as well as a result. So we are not able to comfortably cover it live anymore, but we do have the replays to cover it via replays at a later date instead. So we're jumping into the WardiTV Monday, and we're going to be jumping into the round of 32. Round of 32 here, Lambo versus Hero. Let us go. It is very rare to see Lambo sign up for Open Cups. He has been very vocal about his disdain for Open Cups. He's not very fond of them, doesn't really enjoy them, but this week did sign up for the WardiTV Monday and did take part. Let's go, let's go. Great to see some more Zerg representation as always, as we are jumping into Winter Madness for game number 1. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be jumping into game 1. Oh, and again, I hope everyone's been enjoying this. Also, everyone had a great weekend, of course, as we near ever closer to Christmas. As in near ever closer. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the German Zerg player. We have the Teal Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is Hero for T1. I'm still recovering from the weekend, of course. The weekend was full of RSL, so it was very intense. So much StarCraft over Saturday and Sunday. Hope you enjoyed the RSL, as it was a lot of fun, a lot of good fun, a lot of Protoss games. It was a lot of fun. Definitely was an enjoyable experience, and of course, wishing the best when it comes to the upcoming season of RSL coming into 2026. Otherwise, we are, of course, kind of headed towards the end of year. We're heading towards the wrap-up, but also towards Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is right around the corner, has already been confirmed, and we still have to confirm the players. I think some of them have been announced. The next will be soon to follow. Just like always, we'll do our best to be the B stream for Home Story Cup. I think we've been the B stream for Home Story Cup for like the past 4 editions at this point. It's been a couple of years here, so most likely that trend will continue as we get into 2026. Likewise, Stars Agora is also right around the corner as well, so these players still do have big events to work towards. They already do have announced events to work towards, I should say, with RSL, with Home Story Cup, and with Stars Agora. For now though, standard opener, gate expand here out of Hero. Likewise, Lambo going for his own hatch gas pool. Everything's looking normal, so for the time being, welcome to Winter Madness. Oh, as Jesus. This is not the turtle tussle. My apologies. I will get rid of that after this game if I remember. Hopefully I do. Hopefully. But otherwise, we are going to be settling in. Once again, when it comes to this PvZ, Hero has been on fire as of late. I mean, hey, he just won a major event. So Hero, he is definitely looking very in form here. And in the latest patch, I'm curious to see how players have been adapting. We had this conversation last night during RSL regarding the meta of a ZVP and regarding a certain playstyle that has been rising up amongst the Europeans, but not amongst the Koreans. We're going for an all-in. We're going for Link Flood. The boys are being pulled. Lambo, he sends everything across the map. It's going to be a short one. Now, what I was going to discuss the new style we've been seeing from Lambo and from other European players, the Ultra Infestor composition in a longer later game, but we're not going to get there. Not this time, as Lambo's completely all-in, and Hero, no probe scout. No probe scout. Hyper greed out of Hero. The drones have arrived. The links have arrived. We're going to surround here on the pylon, and with the pylon going down, that will be game. We do have the adept popping out just in time. Can we save the pylon? Can he fight for it? The boys are being pulled. Second pylon's on the way. If he can keep this gateway powered, then he can get a second adept. But he needs time. He needs time, baby. Okay, does on the way. Okay. So far, so good. He zones away. The pylon is halfway done. And here is holding. He is holding on here. He will zone away the army. We have 10 more links in production. Link speed is still not yet complete. We don't really have the money for the Oracle, alas. We do have more links going for the second pylon. But so far, here he's holding on. It does save the pylon. We do have the second adept on the way. Link speed kicks in. No, this around. Oh, he tries when he does. He does look down the adept. Ooh, massive pickup. Engage with the probes. More links are flooding across the map, but now we have another adept. And Hero looks like he does have enough to hold on. The probes, they are being pulled. They clean up most of the links, but there are so many probe kills. Oh my god, never mind. Adept goes down. Too many probe kills. 17 probes go down, and Lambo takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Lambo does take a lead in the series. Again, Lambo punishing Hero for doing what? For skipping the probe scouts. It is known, especially on Winter Madness, Hero, he does like to skip his probe scout. He does like to be greedy. He does like to cut corners. And Hero, he is punished for that greed, having a very late reaction as to what was going on. He almost held, to be fair. He was almost able to hold on. He was able to pull the boys and save the gateway, save the second pylon. But it was too little too late as Lings did flood in. Lings speed kicks in. GG. GG well played. Critical damage at the natural. 17 probes going down. And with that, Lambo is up 1-0. Let's go. Let us go. Now moving forward, I would imagine that Hero is going to be probe scouting from here on forward. We'll see a spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the Teal Zerg player. We have the German Zerg for Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is Hero. Here we go. By the way, like Turtle Tussle logo on the map, yes, has already been removed. We did take note of it during the cast. We took note of it back. So it did remove the turtle. Smudge. But for now, we are going for, gas first. Okay, so we have once again, a hyper aggressive build here by Lambo, going gas pull into a delayed hatchery. As a result, hyper fast link speed into potentially faster Baneling Nest, or we can go into a faster faster Roach Warren. Regardless, very tech heavy build here from Lambo. And we'll see what he does get into here. Boys are being pulled into gas is being prioritized. Hero, of course, sees everything he needs to this time. He does probe scouts for the first time this series. Let's go. Hero is aware. Lambo setting up. Now we are going to be opening up. We have our hatch gas pool. Link speed is on the way. You can see he's staying in gas, and the probe does confirm. Big scout here for Hero. He needs to confirm what's going on. The fact that we're still mining gas here, it either means a Baneling Nest for a Bane Bust or roaches, and show us the Baneling Nest. Oh, ooh. Roach Warren, okay, never mind. So it is going to be a link flood with a Roach all-in, so it is going to be an all-in here by Lambo. Hero is aware for the most part of what's going on. Remember, because he saw the earlier gases, or because he saw the continued gas mining, he knows it's either a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren. He knows it's going to be one or the other, and back at home, it is on Hero to defend. Now, so far, we have yet to invest into our tech of choice. Do we go for the Stargate? Do we go for the Robo? How do we respond? It is going to be the Stargate on the low ground, and Hero can open Void Ray. Void Rays would be ideal. Oracles have their place, but of course Oracles have finite energy. A Void Ray could also supply block. We'll see. How greedy, how confident are we, Pack? How confident? As we have our 5 roaches on the way. Roaches are amassing. Hero getting a shield battery. And what's our first unit going to be? Remember, the rush distance background is very short in 10,000 feet. It's the shortest rush distance out of any map in the current map pool. Oracle first, bold move. Now this will be amazing against Lings, but again, the energy is finite, and there's going to be a bunch of roaches alongside this. This might be Hero misreading this as a Bane Bust. Against a Bane Bust, this will be amazing. Here comes second pylon. Roaches are moving in, Ravagers as well. And it is going to be a tough hold. Lambo's only got 17 drones. Again, still mining gas. Shield does finish up in time. There's a pulsar beam. God, but the roaches are so tanky. And the army does break through. Gasses over the pylon. Takes down one. Takes down 2 adepts. 1 adept left. And does force the boys to be pulled. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Nice cutting here by Lambo. Does deny that saturation. Does deny the surface area. And we spoke about it, that Oracle is going to run out. Thankfully, oh no, depowers everything. Depowers everything. The second Oracle does not pop out. Now, thankfully, does clean up the roaches. The Ravager is going to go down, and Hero, he is holding. He is holding on. Repowers the Stargate, and with that Hero, he will deflect. Lambo, he killed 2 probes. He killed 2 probes. GG gets called. The all-in has failed, and Hero will tie up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Meanwhile, big shout out to Foxer in the chat. Foxer, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. I know it's very late in the Americas. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Get some rest, baby. Get some rest. But thank you so much for the raid as we are getting into the ace match here. Again, we've seen nothing but all-ins out of Lambo so far. I would imagine that the reason why he went for a Ling Roach all-in here in game 2 is because Hero didn't probe scout in game 1. So was hoping that once again there would be no probe scout. Unfortunately, there was one, and Hero was able to get his Oracle out in time, get his second pilot out in time as well. It was still close in the sense that he was able to depower everything, but alas, he didn't quite have enough left over to keep the pressure up and to keep the aggression up. Killed 2 probes. Killed 2 probes. GG, well played. We're getting into the ace match. We're loading into Mothership. Oh boy. Now, what kind of all-in we're going to see from Lambo this time? That's the that's the real question. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Mothership, we have the German Zurich player, the Teal Zurich for Shopify. It is Lambo. Good night, baby. Good night. Buenas noches. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing T1. It is Hero. Ooh, here we go. So we are going to be settling in. And this time, hatch first. Okay, hatch first out of Lambo. He's not going for any kind of crazy gas timing this time. Going for the faster hatchery. We're calming down. Overlord is going to be scouting left hand side, so Lambo, he will find Hero ahead of time. You'll be able to find him. As Hero is setting up on the high ground. Okay. Interesting. A high ground setup here doesn't really make much sense. Now, what this will do is it might actually deceive Lambo. Lambo, when he shows up at the natural, he might only be rallied to the natural itself, see that there's nothing here, pull away, and just assume that Hero is spawned in the top right hand corner instead. So there are maybe some mind games you can work with here, as it is going to be gate into Cybercore into a delayed expansion, but I mean, it's still going to be a Nexus. So yeah, Lambo, he will see the base regardless, and it's going to be an extra exposed expansion because the high ground wall off. So again, a really awkward start here from Hero. It is going to mean his natural is exposed, and Lambo could try to take advantage of that. Let's go. As Lambo does find the probe. There we go. As the Overlord, yep, does scout, is aware. Behind this at Lambo, he is on a standard opener so far, hatch gas pool. He's aware of where Hero is, and we'll see how he spends his tech and where he heads from here. Link speed is on the way, pulls out. Okay, first sign here, he pulls out. So far, everything's looking normal, and I feel like I need to emphasize that just because, hey, if you just tuned in from the raid, Lambo has cheesed every game so far. Like, but not just cheese, like hyper aggression. Game 1, he went for a drone pool. He went for a Ling Flood drone pool. Ling all in with a drone pool. Game 2, we did see Lambo going for fast gas into a Ling Roach all in. Game 3, so far, everything's looking normal. We've got it out of our system. Got it out. Time to calm down. As we do have our Stargate, so Stargate open out of Hero. Again, his low ground wall off here is his natural base, I should say, is more exposed than usual. So if Lambo were to go for a fast Roach Warren, I mean, it could find quite a bit of damage here. For now, still droning. saturating. From here, we should be seeing the Oracle into a third base. Remember that everything is a little bit more delayed here for Hero just because of the later expansion, later saturation, later Nexus. Faster high ground wall. Even here going for a sentry. Jesus. Yeah, just insanely defensive here out of Hero. Said Lambo. He throws down extra gateways. Getting into a 3-gate setup before expanding, so late third base to fully wall off. And just a very awkward start for Hero. Oh, okay, let's go. I mean, now we're making use of it, so now we're going for another gateway into a Twilight Council. A heavy 2-base play here before the third base. This screams Glaive Adepts. Technically, this could be early Blink as well, so Hero has options. But regardless, hyper aggression out of Hero. And Lambo has an idea. Like Lambo, he already saw the wall, right? He saw how late the third base is. He's aware of how early the gateways are. He might think that this is just Hero being inefficient, or he might piece it together that there's something else going on. Lambo picks in, he checks, still no third base. It's a massive tell. He knows. So Lambo's going for the safety Roach Warren. We do have a couple of gas crashes on the way. The Lambo should be able to keep up. And it is going to be Glaive Adepts. As Glacier on the way. Likewise, you have Lambo getting his lair. Hero expanding towards it. He's crazy. Expanding towards Lambo. Oh, no. Now, the scary thing about this expansion is that Lambo, when and if, and most likely when he defends against the Glaive Adepts, once he shuts it down, he can just immediately counterattack and just strike the third base. Adepts are amassing. So are the Roaches. And so here we go. With how many? We have 12 Adepts so far. So Hero is all in, essentially. This gets baited. Bait out the stasis. Mass Adept's going to be shading in. Making its way towards a third. And Lemon just has to minimize losses. As he should be ready. How many roaches is he? Only 6 roaches. Oh, very low roach count actually, but we do have a full wall off. The wall is broken. Adepts 8 bust in, and Lambert, he was greedy, joining up to 66. Yeah, a lot of greed here out of Lambo. Adepts, they can and will punish. Shading into the main. Lambert pulls away, losing 1 drone so far. Losing 1. Roaches are trickling in just in time to defend. It's still quite close, now losing 2 drones. Again, minimal losses. Here he got in, but so far he hasn't actually gotten into a mineral line. And here is deflected. And remember, these adepts don't really scale too well into a longer game. HP is almost done. Oracle gets 2 more drones. Gets 2 more. From here, Lambo's building up his Lingbane Roach Ravager. Lambo, he shouldn't drone up from here. He's getting a 4th base. I would imagine this is just for Larva. It would make more sense if Lambo just doubles down here on 3 bases. Doesn't shade into the mineral line. And now getting into the natural. Getting 4 more drones. This is slowly adding up. This is slowing Lambo down at least a little bit. But this is still not enough damage. Not enough from Hero. As all the depths go down, Hero was able to defend. He has 2, soon to be 3 immortals. So 3 immortals 2 shield batteries, a couple of force fields, but the size just isn't there. And as you mentioned, Lambo, he only just got the 4th base just for Larva. Again, no drones, no saturation. Lambo just lost, what, 5-6 drones back at home. He's not replacing them. He's not replacing those workers. He's committing. He's stuck on 61. And the all-in is coming. Lambo is gearing up for it. Lambo's gearing up. We've got 28 banelings on the way. That's a lot of banelings. We're gonna have 2 disruptors. Okay, with some well-placed novas, then it is possible for Hero to defend. But he needs the juiciest connections. As the Nova goes off, it does graze the banelings. 1 more Nova. Yeah, 1 more Nova is available. Once again, just grazing a couple of roaches. No major connections. Banelings, they roll in. They roll in, they shut down the Stalkers, and so far, I mean, he is breaking through, takes down all the Immortals. Yeah, no Immortals left, just Stalkers. Ooh, get massive connections, gets into the mineral line, and the Rovers are exposed. Yeah, both Rovers are here at the 3rd base. They're both going to go down. No more Immortals, no more Disruptors. And that should be game. And again, Hero expended towards Lambo, so you can just keep rallying in. Keep rallying, keep sending it. It's gonna be 26 probe kills. And Hero should never expand. He should never be able to expand, should never be able to take a 3rd. Lambo collapsing in. And crashing into the last remaining Stalkers. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Lambo, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the round of 16. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very chaotic, very aggressive series here between Lambo and Hero. Game 1, of course, Lambo went for the Ling Flood drone pool. Game 2, Lambo went for the Ling Roach all-in on 1 base. And Game 3, we saw Hero go for his own all-in, going for a triple gate opener into 4 gates on 2 bases, into a very late 3rd, into Mass-Clave Adepts. In the Mass-Clave Adepts, where he did not do enough damage, he was able to get a handful of drone kills, nowhere near enough damage. He also expended towards his opponents. It was more difficult to defend, and we saw Hero was overwhelmed by the 3-base all-in out of Lambo. GG. GG, well played. As Lambo, after defending against the Glaive Adepts, he just went for his own counter all-in and snowballed out of control. So again, a hyper-aggressive series, short game, short matches. GG. GG, well played. Again, great to see a little bit more Lambo here, as Lambo is very inactive when it comes to online tournaments. Lambo doesn't play too much, so hey, he pops off with some very specialized builds. GG. GG, well played. Whew, and we're going to be following Lambo into his next series. We're going to be following him into Creator for the next best of 3 for the round of 16. Let's go. Let us go. So getting into Ruby Rock. So getting into Ruby Rock, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Teal Zerg player, the Teal Zerg player himself. Oh, representing Shopify Rebellion. It's from the land of Germany. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is Creator. Here we go. Really wonder what the resources lost tab looked like right after the final depth push that killed 5 drones. I mean, it isn't just that, if you recall. It's the fact that Hero delayed his 3rd base very heavily in favor of the Adepts. It's the fact that he delayed all of his tech heavily as well in favor of said Adepts. It's also the fact that Lambo was actually quite greedy in his defense. If you remember, Lambo, he only had 6 roaches to defend when the Adepts arrived. Like, it was a very greedy defense out of Lambo, which is why it's important that he survived and defended as well as he did, right? Minimizing his losses, getting away with a high drone count. He droned up to 66 before the defense, which was very greedy, and a lesser player would have died then and there, but he was able to just have the most efficient kind of defense, get away with the most amount of drones possible, and then just snowball from there. GG. GG, well played. And with that, he's going to be going up against Creator. The ZVPs continue. Now, Creator, of course, is a much more quote-unquote standard Protoss player. I say standard. Creator, he has his own quirks. He has his own styles. He's very fond of, I mean, he is willing to mix in Glaive Adepts. He's willing to mix in like Colossus heavy builds in the mid-game as well. So Creator, he can be a little bit more unique in that way. That is true. But he's not as diverse as Hero, for example. And trying to bring Creator down into the mud with Lambo, it's going to be more difficult to achieve, I feel. So far, Lambo does take a different approach. Hatch gas pool. Standard opener so far out of Lambo. Likewise, we are going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is an aggressive map in the map pool. Shorter rush distance, more exposed third bases. All-ins are favorite here, and I expect to see Lambo go for a 3-base all-in. I expect to see something very similar to what we saw in the last game on Mothership, where he cut workers at 66, got a 4th base just for Lava, and just went for a Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager all-in. But I do expect this to be maybe a Ling Hydra instead. We'll see. Still quite early, but again, just aggression is heavily favored here on Ruby Rock. From the side of Creator, I'm curious to see how he will approach this. We have seen the PvZ meta shift quite a bit. Because aggression is more favored, we have seen more defensive builds in the mid game. Oh, but here we go. Twilight Council opener. Creator is not playing Stargate. Do we open up Adepts? I mentioned this in the lead up to this, if you recall, how Creator does like to mix in Glaive Adepts, so that's an option. Otherwise, we could even go into Dark Templar. We'll keep an eye on the gases. Keep an eye on the gases. Lambo himself going for his 3rd. Going for his 3rd base. And so far we're staying in. If we stay in gas, then there's a higher chance that this is going to be a Dark Trine. If we start to pull out, then there's a higher chance it's going to be Glaive Adepts. The other option this could be is additional gateways here. And I mean, I don't see a Robo. Hold up. Blink? Blink is on the way. Did stay in gas, so this does make sense, but going for insanely fast blink like this is ay. It's not normal. Okay, show us what you got. So fast blink. So far on a lower gateway count. Getting towards Robo, and we'll see if he turns this into a 2-base all-in. In my mind, that makes the most sense. Yeah, 3 gates on the way, 1 is already done, so 4 gate blink so far. Do we go up to 6? Jesus, we do more than that. We do. So 5 gates on the way, and the one that's already done, so 6 gates. So it's going to be a 2-base 6-gate all-in. There shouldn't be a proxy gateway across the map because that is what the War Prism is going to be for. There we go, Prism's on the way. And Creator is going to double down. Now remember what we just said. We just mentioned how, hey, Ruby Rock is known for aggression, known for all-ins, has exposed 3rd bases, and it's going to be Creator to bring the aggression to Lambo. Now Lambo, he's scouting, he's checking, he knows that there is no expansion. That's already a tell. There's no 3rd base, something is wrong. Something is wrong, something is amiss. Lambo is getting a safety Roach Warren because he knows that something is not quite right. And we'll see if Lambo can react in time. So far, he's got Lings on the way. Killing his tumor so he can fully wall off. He is expecting Adepts. That's what this tells me. He wants to fully wall off to deny Adepts. Prism is moving out. Roaches are amassing. And what's going to surprise Lambo, surprising me as well, is it's not Adepts. It is Mass Blink Stalker instead. Creator moving in. This is where Lings are a must, not Roaches. And even then this comes down to the control. Oh. Well, it goes off. Queen goes down. Nice pick up. Takes on one of the queens. Miscontrol of the Lambo as he did have a transfuse. Did miss it. Speaking of. Let's save the queen towards the end. The Lings, they're coming in from behind. Lambo setting up for the surround. Oh. It does collapse in. Forcing the blink. Jesus. Does force the blink. I feel like Lambo could have been a little more assertive there. Could have been more aggressive. More Zealots are warping in. These are slow lots, but they don't need to be fast here. The Lings are coming to him. They're coming to Creator. But Creator, he needs more damage. Lings, they try to catch reinforcements. They try to threaten a counterattack. See, the Creator doesn't want to be lured in. So he's keeping his ults back. Doesn't get surrounded. Does see the Lings. And Creator is aware. Shaking with more Zerglings. So far, Creator has lost one Stalker. the efficiency, Pat. Oh. Gets a Roach. Does get a Roach. Okay, that's a lot of slow lots. And blinks away. Has to be careful. A couple of Zealots almost got surrounded. Ta-da! And throws away Queen. Again, the Zealots, they hold their own. Lambo leading out more Lings. But he is slowly building up that Roach count. The Roaches have been amassing. Oh! The Lings, they come in for the surround. So far, nice control here by Creator. And he commits. Yeah, he's going for the fight. So many Lings have gone down. Only one Ravager. Once again, Creator being so careful with his control, pulling back those Zealots. Doesn't want to throw them away. Oh, but he does lose a line of Stalkers. Yeah, Stalkers finally going down, but last Creator, he is out trading. It's been a very slow, methodical 2-base all in, but Creator, it feels like he's been out trading this entire time. I mean, he has been. Losing 6 Stalkers. And against 109 Lings, oh my god. 109 Zerglings. Speaking of, every Zergling here should be going down. It does get a Stalker. So Lemmy gets one more Stalker. Oof. All of that for one Stalker. Ay, ay, ay. That's target firing at a Creator. Picking up for 2 more Roaches. Getting 3. That's a lot of Roaches going down. And remember, Lambert, he's had the worst economy here. He has not been mining from his 3rd base whatsoever. It's 2 base versus 2 base. The 3rd base finally goes down. Oh. Lambert trying to take another expansion. Taking into Banelings. Oh. We don't quite have enough to blink forward yet, but we're getting close. That's why we're getting close. Lings, they do slip past. They're gonna hit the natural. Creator's no longer in position to defend. As he rotates to the top side. Forcing a defensive warp in. Oh. That 3rd base is denied. Lings, they kill the gateway. And I'll be honest, I think at this point, Creator's done it. Like, look at the supply disparity here. Bearing in mind that Lambert's supply is already inflated because of the Roaches. So Lambert's in a rough position. And again, it's been a very slow, very methodical all-in at a Creator, and he's just been picking Lambo apart. I'm afraid to look. Jeez. Creator, he's lost 14 Stalkers. He's killed 20 Roaches, killed a base, denied another expansion, killed almost 200 Lings, 168 back. Poquito más. Keep going. Killed so many Zerglings. And now picking up Roaches. Units that are actually expensive. Here comes the Bane Bust. But there are Stalkers to defend. There we got 12 Banelings morphing in. He'll break down the front door. Bust down the pylons, gets a full surround. Creator, what's the plan? Does he commit? Yeah, he's going for it. Yeah, at this point, he's just forced to pull the trigger. He's going for it. Rushes forward. His natural is going to be forfeit. He'll lose everything in his natural. At the same time, he's just going for the kill. He's going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. His warping and Zelt's back at home. Ooh, supply blocks Lambo. Lings do not get in. Oh, the whole position micro. Another Bailings. Efficient trades. Yeah, the most efficient bailing actions they could have hoped for. Biles, they deny the warp in, but now we just blink forward. Yeah, we blink forward. Down on top of the army. Lambert gets surrounded. Lambert, he will lose everything. And in this game, he did lose over 220 links. Creator, he defended back at home. He defended back at home. His Zelts, they held their own. And again, there's barely an army left here for Lambo. Lambo down to 6 roaches, down to 5, down to 4, down to 3. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Creator, he pulls off the 2-base all in. 12-minute long game. Oh my god, but Creator does it, and Creator takes the lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense game, a very unique game as well. It is very rare to see a Blink Stalker based 2-base all in, but Creator, he was so methodical with it as well. He was so careful. There was never any rush. He was poking in, peeking flings, pulling away, getting a queen here and there, getting a roach here and there, slowly amassing those zealots, so we never saw a surround. Creator never allowed it. He never allowed for a surround to happen, as he had zealots behind his army the entire time. I'm sure that Lambo was also very uncomfortable, because I doubt Lambo's ever played against this kind of build before, so the idea of going for a Bailey Nest earlier definitely would have made a lot of sense, but he went for it much later. Sure, he was able to break into the natural, but by that point it was too late. It was too little too late. As Creator, he already had enough to just overwhelm the natural base. GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator takes the lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let's go. Este dado, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Buenas noches, papi. Buenas noches. Well, there you go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Teal Zerg player. We have the German Zerg. Rosang Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is Creator. Here we go. Whew. And again, wild game 1 here. Now we load into game 2. Game 2 is going to be in White Rabbits. White Rabbit is a much larger map of the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. We're expecting a longer and later game here. We're expecting a more macro game. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on our players. We'll see where our players do head. We're leaning towards, say, a Stargate, open into Oracle into a third. See if Creator does mix it up once again. Likewise, Lambo, how will he approach this? On a map like White Rabbits, aggression is not really too favored here, so Lambo, we can see him being forced to drone, being forced to saturate. Muted play and Spire play is a viable option for sure. I don't know if Lambo's one to risk it though, now that he's down in the series, but it is going to be available here to Lambo. It is available. Good. Yeah. Sorry, just the lack of sleep over the weekend is catching up. The intensity of RSL, yeah. It's catching up. Oh, and once again, Twilight counts. Okay. It's the creator. I assumed we'd be seeing a Stargate into a third base, but no, once again, early Twilight Council. Now, last game, this led into a Blink All-In. Now, I did like going for a Blink All-In specifically on Ruby Rock. I don't like the idea of it here on White Rabbit, so we'll see if we go into DTs, into Glaver Depths. So far, we don't see a faster Robo. We are not pulling out a gas. So far, this does look like the same build. Again. Okay. See if there's any deviation. Do we go for Blink? Oh, Glaves this time. Okay, he's going for Glaves. Now, what's important here is that are we going to throw down a Robo or not? Are we going to throw down... Are we going to pull out a gas at any point? So there's a Robo. Okay, we're going for the Robo. The fact that we stayed 3 and 3 in gas this entire time, it feels like we might go for more than just 4 gateways. Going for a 4-gate setup does allow you to expand, but if you're staying in gas like this and you're this gas intensive, then we may just go up to 6 gateways and go for massive depths into a 2-base all-in, which is quite similar to what we saw last game, except with Blink Stalkers instead. Now, just like last time, Lambo, he's going to be active with his Lings, and he should confirm that there's no third. Oh, and now we see why we stayed in gas. So my assumption was, hey, if we're staying in gas, we might go up to 6 gateways. We're not. We're going to be going 4 gates into Glaves into a Dark Shrine. So that explains the extra gas is for Glaves plus DTs. So both are coming out. This was relatively common a couple of years ago, so Lambo, I'm sure he's played against this before. We'll see if he can prepare for this time. He's going for the Roach Horn, so safety Roach Horn at Lambo. And again, because this build is so out of meta, again, this build was quite common back in like 2022, 2023, specifically, but seeing it here and now, if Lambo's not aware, if he's not willing to play it safe, then he might skip his spores. But there we go, Spore at the natural, Spore in the main base, he'll have detection, he'll be okay. Be okay. So Lambo's done everything correct. Done everything correct so far. Lambo joining up to 44. Massing up some Lings, DTs are on the way. David Epps as well. And Epps will be moving in first. Looking for an opening. Now there is also a Spore on the way here at the third base. Plenty of detection. Epps take him into the main. Shaving a lot of Zerglings. Lings going down, Spores repositioning, keeping up with the War Prism. Ooh, within range of the Spore. Yeah, miscalculation out of Creator. Nah, yeah, the Prism is so low that we shouldn't even see a Warpit anymore. And the aggression has failed. The aggression has failed. Did I speak too soon? He gets into the third. Okay, drones are going down. Ooh, this should not have happened. Yeah, 6, 7, 8 drone kills. Yeah, the Prism is spin back. Third base is on the way. Creator is expanding. There's the recall. Oh, another Prism! Oh, no dead space. Yeah, no dead space. Prism goes down. And now we're in a really awkward game state here. On the one hand, Lambo did lose a lot of drones. That is true, and his economy is lackluster. On the other hand, everything is late for Creator, right? Late third. The third is not even halfway done. So late third base, late tech, late saturation, late everything else. I did notice some Dark Temple warping in. Looks like they're defensive at the third, so they should defend. There we go. DCs are revealed, but again, this was a big investment. So things are looking to stabilize in a sense. Or do I favor Lambo? I mean, Lambo's free to drone. He's free to drone up. He's free to saturate. We should be seeing a 4th base momentarily. Yep, there we go. 4th is on the way. So Lambo does feel free to drone, but his drones are late because of this. I mean, look at all the Lings. Half of these could have been drones, right? They could have been workers, could have been drones, could have been a faster 4th base, better saturation. So Lambo is also stumbling his way into the mid game. And we'll see if anyone is too greedy. Specifically, I feel like Creator has incentive to go for an earlier timing attack. Lambo has to be careful. This Creator is building up his Archons, his Immortals. Lings are deflected. Archons, they're finding more damage. You know, a little whenever they can. Finding another Overlord. Gets a Spore. Yeah, as you mentioned, Crater is building up towards an attack. He's building up his Archons, building up his Immortals. Should be pushing soon. Meanwhile, Lambo, it looks like he isn't being too greedy. That's what I was concerned by. I was concerned he was going to join up his 4th, but no, as you can see here, his 4th only has 2 workers. He has not saturated. We do see Lambo gearing up on Ling Main Road Ravager. So Lambo is building up on 3 bases, setting up for his own 3-base all-in. And if Creator moves out, then Creator should lose his army. If he stays back home, he has a chance to defend. As Creator he moves out, he does spot the massive Veiling. Jeez. Also does force a mass cancellation. But again, he cannot fight this army head on. There it is, 27 Veilings on the way. Creator trying to stop them. Trying to slow them down. 32 Veilings, Jesus. Oh god. He's got his Veilings. Drones are going down. Yeah, DTs are wreaking havoc. Meanwhile, here comes the all-in. Shows the force fields. Yeah, force fields going to be crucial. Decent force fields. Oof. But Bailey's still connecting. And Bailey's, there's so many of them. 32 Bailey's will be rolling on forward. Here it's mainly Immortal Archon left over. Immortals are exposed. Can we save them? The Immortals! Oh my god, really does. It does save the Immortals. The DTs are defending. Do we have detection? There is an Overseer. Yeah, there is an Overseer here, but insane defense. GG gets called. Creator with the force fields baiting out those Banelings. He held on just barely with the bare minimum. And GG. GG, well played. Creator will take the series 2-0. Whew, GG, well played. A very impressive defense here by Creator. I was concerned here that the all-in will be too much. I was especially concerned that Creator would be caught out in the open, but no, he was able to pull back in time, recognize what was going on, able to force field, able to defend, able to save the Immortals with his War Prism control as well. GG. GG, well played. Whew, a very impressive defense there by Creator as he knocks the Lambo out of the tournament and will be advancing on into the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Does advance on into the quarterfinals to face off against his next opponent. Un momento. There we go. Up next is going to be another ZVP. It's another ZVP. It's going to be a ZVP between Reynor and Creator. Again, Reynor, he has been in Korea for 2 months at this point. He's been in Korea for quite some time, practicing, training, improving, playing customs, and also playing in the WardiTV Open Cups on a more regular basis. Now that he's in Korea, he is in a better time zone for it, and also is able to compete. Is a little bit more free, a little bit more available to compete and to take part in these events. Let's go, as he's up against Creator in said quarterfinals. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Creator. I'm one League of Legends streamer. Copium, papi, copium. Oh no. Maybe the number one like Italian League of Legends streamer, maybe like top 5, top 10. cap. Este Reynor, baby. Este Reynor. But yes, that is why he went to Korea, is to get better ping to the Korean ladder in League of Legends. So it's been grinding that rift. Grinding the rift. It's been practicing his top lane. He's been jungling all night. And bottom laning all day. I don't. So it's been a long time since I played League of Legends. I think the last time I played League was like 2015, 2014, 2014, something like that. Something like that. It's been a while. Number one in our hearts. There you go. I think it would have been 2014. Was 2014 the year? There was one year where we were we had a house party to watch BlizzCon together. And I want to say Worlds was happening at the same time as BlizzCon. So whenever there was like some downtime with BlizzCon, we could like switch over to Worlds. And I think that was where I remember, I think it was the semifinals. There was Samsung Galaxy Khan White against Samsung Galaxy Khan Blue. That's all that's I think this is before they enforced a rule where like teams couldn't field like multiple rosters into like competitive tournaments. Like Samsung versus Samsung. It was like, oh, let's go. I remember that obviously we only knew them because of Solar, because of Samsung and StarCraft. Okay, I remember. Those were the days. Back when this actually StarCraft during BlizzCon. Feels bad. I mean, to be fair, that's coming back. True. That is coming back. StarCraft at BlizzCon. Let's go. We all know the real League of Legends are the Ducklings. We're lost in the rift, pappy. Oh no. We're also there. For now, Hatchcast Pool, standard open out of Reynor, nothing crazy, nothing wild. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map known for aggression, known for being very in your face. But creator, he opened standard. Hey, let's go. You know what? I'm sure Lembo's watching this. He's like, what the hell? He's like, why couldn't he play standard against me? Like, creator was an animal against Lembo, but here, Stargate, Oracle into a third base. The creator's playing standard, and so is Reynor. After an intense and chaotic round of 32 and round of 16, and now we're calming down in the quarterfinals. Calming down. As things they collapse in and going for the third. Depths are out of position. The Oracle is across the map. So the Adepts actually, and that's going to be a cancel. Yeah, Creator is punished for his greed, punished for moving out. There's a cancellation. At the same time, the Oracle gets into the mineral ender, and oh my god, at the same time, Reynor, no Spore. Jesus. No Spore Crawler. 8 drones go down. We're getting chaotic. We're getting messy. On the one hand, Creator, he had no defense back at home. On the other hand, neither did Reynor. Jesus. So Creator, he will lose his third base. At the same time, Reynor will lose at 9 drones. Almost 10. Oh. As Oracle pulls away. Creator taking his third here at the triangular location and checking the Unisource tab here. It was 3 Adepts. 3 Adepts did go down. The pylon, the cancellation on the third base. But again, we're getting very messy here. Both players taking their losses. Reynor, can he force another cancellation? I shouldn't be able to. Plenty of Oracles. As we have our triple Oracle opener. At the same time, across the map, back at home, we do have Creator going for a +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up. We're calming down. Calming down. So players back off, they rotate. Creator poking in towards the main base. Oh. once again getting a drone, scouting the lair timing. Getting another drone. Not bad. 2 drones going down. Reynor is still trying to recover. Behind this is go for a safety roach one. Is actually making roaches. Okay. And Reynor is going to commit. That's a lot of roaches in production. That is 8. No, yeah, he's committing. He's all in. 11 roaches on the way. You would never make 11 roaches defensively. Not like this. So he's building up his roach count. He's spreading creeper across the map. He's getting ready for his own 3-base all-in. Cutting workers at 52. Drop lords, these are going to be slow drops, bearing in mind that there's no overlord speed. So no overlord speed. But he's going for the drop into the natural. Queens are waddling in. I mean, again, this is just how small the map is anyway. Even without overlord speed, you can just walk across the map with those queens. They're waddling in. Oh, nice interception. A lot of hull damage on the Oracle. The all-in has arrived. Stasis traps are late. Are they going to finish? Up! First one goes up. Lands 1. Drop gets into the natural. And there's barely an army here. Blink is complete. The Lings are coming from behind. Biles, they do connect. Yeah, Biles are connecting. Queens are waddling forward as well. And I mean, the force fields are good. They're zoning back the army. They're buying time. Cannons are finishing. And Crater is barely buying time. Diving on the queens. Getting 1, getting 2. All the queens go down. With the help of the immortal, can he hold? He can. Oh my god. Yeah, Crater, he holds. He holds on just barely. Takes down all the queens. Shuts down the roaches. The ravagers. Holds on to his 3rd base. At the same time, though, Ling drop into the main. Ling should drop in. They get a couple of probes. 6 probe kills. Oh, that should not have happened. 7 probes go down. So some nice economic damage. Crater is still ahead. Crater is still ahead, still in a better position. But Reynor trying to claw his way back into this. And you can see Reynor is gearing up for another all-in. He's not droning. No drones, no saturation, no 4th base either. Just gearing up for wave 2. The problem here, of course, is that the second all-in should be weaker than the first. This time we have more static defense. We have the Immortal. We'll see if Reynor can lock down the army. He's hoping and maybe surround and land those Biles. That's one. Ravagers, things, they do collapse in. Here are the Biles. Oh! Ooh, they do connect. 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers go down to the Biles. Nice pickups. The Immortal stuck here at the wall. Colossus is on the way. Things are coming from behind. Once again, they are denied. Oh my god. Gets 2 more Ravagers. Oh. Ooh, nice Wiles. Wiles take down another Oracle. These are nice pickoffs, that is true, but the longer this goes on, I mean, Creator is up to 70 probes. He's getting a 4th base. Colossus is on the way. Creator should have this. Yeah, Lings, they try to collapse in. Nice dodge. Wiles, they once again graze the army. But with the Colossus arriving, I don't see Reynor ever breaking through. Not like this. Oh. And now he's forced to drone. For the first time in like 4 minutes, he's forced to drone. 4th base on the way. Reynor, he is miles behind. Losing another Ravager, losing 2 more Ravagers. Oh, nice thing drop though. Okay, again. Gets 6 more probes. The Ling drops back. Popping off. Or just Ling run by even. Just 2 pop up. And And GG gets called. We don't even really get the final fight, but the writing was on the wall. And Creator, he will take a 1-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Creator does take a lead. Again, Reynor, he attempted his own all-in, but unfortunately, Creator, he was more than ready for it. I mean, at the same time, it was a bit of a later scout. There was a lot relying on the link drop, for example. We should get some probe kills, but the main army struggled to break the third base. Creator has a very nice blink control. He was able to buy enough time for the Immortals, buy enough time for his Colossus. GG, well played. Very intense defense there by Creator, but he does pull it off, and now we're getting into game at number 2. But again, this was a really chaotic game as well. Remember that it all began with Reynor losing a bunch of workers, with Creator forcing a cancellation of his third base. Like, it was very, very chaotic. But GG, well played. Now we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Zerg player, himself, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player from South Korea. It is Creator. Here we go. So we're getting to our next game. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a much larger map of the map pool, much larger map, a longer resistance by ground, and aggression is not as favored on Winter Madness. Nowhere near. There we go. So for me, we should be seeing a more standard opener, a more standard game. Should be. We can calm down and build up and get into the mid game. Meanwhile, a big shout out to thank you so much, a big shout out to Fazzy in the chat. God, that big Fazzy33 for subscribing for the first time with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the emotes even. Thank you so much as we're settling into our next game. And again, everything so far, Hatchcast Pool, standard opener. Again, because the map is so large, because the rush distance is so long, it's very common to just get a third base, work towards a fourth base as well, and get into a longer game state. This is going to be the best chance for Creator to try to embrace a longer game state and head in towards Sky Toss. This would be the best map for it, so we'll see if Creator embraces that style. I will say the Creator, he's more prone to more mid-game play and mid-game aggression. This may give Reynor the opportunity to actually outscale and out-tech the Protoss instead. We'll see. This Creator can be a hard one to read at times. There's the Stargate. We bring this up just because if you remember against Lambo, Creator, he went Twilight Council opener every game. Every game went Twilight Council. I'm sure Lambo told Reynor that as well. Sure they would, as they are good friends. So now third base is being taken. Creator does poke into it up, taking one-shot workers, so they threaten the mineral line. Reynor, he is keeping up, and we shouldn't shade in. And Creator pulls away this time. Third base is on the way, and they should be moving back to defend the third. If you remember, last time they did not, and Creator, he paid the price for it. He had to cancel. But this time, Creator, he pulls back. Oh, speaking of, Reynor, he's moving out towards the left-hand side. He will avoid the Adepts. And we'll see if he can get on top of the third base. Creator, I assumed that he would go back home, but no, he's still sticking around. Uh-oh. We've been here before. We've been here before as the lazy at a full, so they almost get a full surround. They get a nice surface area. The Oracle's on the way. This base is getting very low. Nice control of the Reynor, being as annoying as possible, being as efficient as possible, and he will force a cancel. No shot. Oh, that's a kill. Oh my god. Oh, that's Creator. Papi. Yeah, that should not have happened. Massive pick up here. That was a kill, not a cancel. 400 minerals down the drain. At the same time, Creator, he got 2 drones across the map. He got some damage, but that was not worth it. And again, Creator gets punished twice now. Game 1, he was forced to cancel. Game 2, it was a kill on his third base for moving out with his reps. Being aggressive with his reps, he gets punished time and time again. Going for his Twilight Council, a bit of an earlier timing, but the timings roll a little bit off just because of the denied third. Rough position for Creator. Still not finding damage. Yeah, nice control of the Reynor. He pulls away the weakened workers. He does not lose them. Creator needs to find more. And I wouldn't be surprised if Creator even turns this into a 3-base all-in. We'll keep an eye on his gate count. We'll keep an eye on the gases being taken. Creator, he has options. Technically, because this map is so large, he might just try to turtle from here and just try to take up and recover in a longer game. It's difficult to pull off, but it is an option. Gets 1 drone so far. The suit. As Reynor is building up, behind this going into Ling Hydra. So skipping Roach production this time. Going into range upgrades, and this is typically indicative here of taking up a little bit further into Hive Tech. We'll see if that's the case. But Reynor's getting comfortable. Oh. As once again, he does find Creator with his pants down for a moment. Creator stuck at home is going double Robo, double Colossus production. He's basically going to be more defensive here. He's going to build up with Colossus, going to build up, and he should be pushing out with around 4 Colossi. But is this going to be too late? The problem here is that Reynor, he's not droning. Reynor, here's the 4th just for Larva, 3-base all-in. So we had 2 choices to make. Either Reynor drones and then takes up into Lurkers, or he cuts Workers and goes for a 3-base all-in instead. And we have the answer. So in purely Ling, Bane, Hydra. I'm not too fond of this style on Winter Madness. I do think this is a bit of a weaker style on this map because the map is so large. But at the same time, Reynor has momentum, right? Reynor, he's already ahead. So he feels like that is enough of a lead to make this work. Baits out 1. Baits out the Stasis. Baits out the Oracle as well. The Oracle taking a lot of hits. Remember, Reynor is not droning. He's not droned for quite some time. There's a recall back home. Reynor collapsing in. He does so step forward. Ooh, barely doesn't get the Oracle. But again, there's just not much here. The all-in has arrived. Stasis traps are being denied. Hydra, some of them are getting caught up. Oh, Disruptor? Wait, what? Went Disruptor first. And that's not going to help. GG gets caught. Third base is overwhelmed. And Reynor, he will tap the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very shaky start for Creator. To lose that third base was brutal, and his attempt to just macro from there and just try to recover, it's a bold move, but again, he was playing from behind. Later third base, later tech, no map control, no map awareness either, and we saw that Reynor, he just cut workers early, went for a 3-base all-in. Fourth base just for Lava, went for the all-in, and again, it was that much stronger, that much more potent because of the earlier losses of Creator. Like, he was already down on the ground, and then Reynor could just knock him out from there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going to be loading into Tourmaline. We go from one of the larger maps of the map pool to one of the smaller maps. Tourmaline, hyper aggression is favorite here, and we're expecting some more 3-base play. Maybe even 2-base play. Let's go. As spawning in the right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Italian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself from South Korea. It is a creator. Here we go. Getting into the next series, getting into the next round. And again, creator, he has had such a hard time maintaining his 3rd base this series, including game 1. If you remember, game 1, he was forced to cancel the 3rd base and then forced to be denied, and he lost a pylon as well. Game 2, it was just straight up killed. Gotta be careful. Gotta protect the 3rd, man. Protect the 3rd. Regardless, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline, again, is a smaller map of the map pool, very aggressive, very open. You can see here has a massive entrance into the 3rd, likewise has a massive entrance into the natural, and 3rd base as well. So again, we have some massive entrances. Because of this, German taxis are very common. Queen walks across the map, Ling Hydra all-ins, Ling Bane Roach Ravager all-ins. We expect hyper aggression out of the Zerg player. At the same time, we do expect to see something more committed out of the Protoss because of that as well. We could see creator go Twilight Council first, or we could see him go into a later tech structure or just a more defensive style instead, with a faster robo. We'll keep an eye on creator, but playing standard is difficult on Tourmaline. Playing standard and being the defensive player, we'll see. Okay, so already this looks sinister here. So what I see, we have a pylon behind the mineral line. Usually if it's a Stargate opener, you throw down the pylon a little bit closer to the edge just to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. So for the pylon to be behind, it tells us that there's a higher chance that we're going to be hiding tech. It doesn't have to mean Twilight Council opener, but there's just a higher chance of that happening. Otherwise, it could even be Stargate into Void Ray. But we'll see. Overlord is at the natural. Stargate has been thrown down behind the mineral line. Now with the Stargate placement, again, we'll see if he goes Void Ray to hunt down the Overlords, and we'll see if he just goes Oracle into a standard game. Eyes are on creator. Stalker's on the way. So you would never get a Stalker this early on unless you wanted to deny the scouts. So this is designed to deny this Overlord scout. So it's going for the Stalker. Otherwise, you'd get Adepts to harass, like we have seen before. It's interesting that we're going for the Stalker just because it is still a Stargate opener. There is a chance that this might be Stargate, not into Void Ray, Stargate into Oracles, and then you bank the Oracles back at home, and then you rally out. Yeah, you can see here, based on the rally, he's banking them. He's trying to deny the scout. We can see the patrol here on the Stalker. Now the goal here is that because you're hiding these Oracles, it makes it look like it's a Twilight Council. It makes it look like it's something that it isn't. And then Reynor, as an efficient high-level Zerg player, should be delaying his spores, right? Because there's no reason to have them. Because the spores are delayed, because the anti-air is going to be at a deficit, then the Oracles can pop off. As we should be waiting for 2. So there's the first, here comes the second. And again, the goal here is just bank. Just bank the Oracles, keep them hidden. So a very cheeky build here by creator, and again, now it makes sense why the pylon was placed here behind the mineral line, why we threw down the Stargate behind the mineral line. It's all to hide the build. Reynor, he does go Mass Ling. He's here to deny the 3rd base, but there is no 3rd. Creator getting his 2nd gateway. Reynor getting a safety Roach Warren. Now Reynor, he still went for the Spore, but no, did he cancel? Did you see the production tab? He had spores earlier, but no, he canceled. Here we go. It's moving out. The Oracles, they should be moving out soon as well. Yeah, here we go. The Oracles, they do pull the trigger. And the main base, no spore. The natural, no spore. The 3rd, there is 1 spore at the 3rd base, but the other bases are exposed. Why? Because these Oracles were delayed. Like, it's delayed Oracle harass. So far, this build has worked out for creator, but can he find the damage he's looking for? Now it's revealed. Queens are keeping up. Yeah, Queens, they rotate. Oh, Big volleys. Yeah, big volleys on the Oracle. Creator, he was a little bit lackluster with his movements, with his control. Didn't get into the bases. Reynor, he gets away with defending without any spores. Lings a counterattack going for the third, and Creator, he's in a rough position. He's gonna cancel. Oh my god, yeah, forced to cancel. Creator getting another Oracle, getting 4 Oracles. And this just hasn't been worth it. It's not been worth it here. Creator, his third base is insanely late. Late third, Lings a peel off, they kill the probes. Still no third expansion. There was a lot of potential with banking up these Oracles, but it just wasn't worth it in the end. Wasn't worth it. The bases were exposed, but Reynor, he was able to get in position with the queens. The Oracles did nothing. And now Reynor is looking comfortable. Reynor's just droning, just saturating. Is that a 5th Oracle? Wait, what? I mean, what else can you do, right? Like, the problem here is that Creator, everything is late. Third base is late. The Twilight Council is late. The Forge is late. The economy, just everything is delayed here, so you got to make do with what you have. We have a 5th Oracle in production. Going Mass Oracle. It's a couple of drones, but it's going to throw the Oracles away. Oof. Yeah, 6 drones for an Oracle. I mean, it's some damage. It's necessary. Creator has to get something done. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? Overload speed, all in. 3-base all in by Reynor. You would never get overload speed in this kind of position unless you plan to go for what? To go for Dropper Lords. It's going to be a German taxi. We're going to be loading up the queens, loading up the roaches, and rallying everything across the map. The Oracles, they dive into the middle line. Nice damage. 15 drones. Oh my god. 15, 6, 17 drone kills. Critical damage in the natural. Is this enough to slow down the all-in though? That's what I'm concerned by, because Creator, because he's so far behind, he's getting gateways, getting a robo, getting upgrades. We have a safety cannon here at the natural, but here comes the all-in. Here come the Dropper Lords. So loading up the taxi. Queens are making their way across the map as well. Now, if Creator can survive this, then, I mean, because it's an all-in, like, he will take a massive lead. Link drop into the natural. Roach Queen towards the third base. Creator, can he keep up? The Oracles is still just camping the army. Lane drop into the main. Queens are coming in. That's 6 queens. Queens have arrived. Lane drop is denied. Reynor doesn't waste the lings. Bear that in mind. True. Doesn't waste them. Biles. Oh, do connect. Oh, massive stasis though. Yeah, stasis goes off. Biles didn't miss the stasis traps. Put a ball down the cannon. Cannon taking a lot of hits. The queens, they zone away the oracles. Ooh, oracle goes down. Stalkers are rallying forward, and there's not enough support here for the army. We need those lings. They do on stasis. They back out of stasis, but again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Creator. Reynor, he needs more damage. Oh, oh my god. Gee, files are connecting. A 7 probe kills, another oracle goes down. There's 1 oracle left. No immortals. And the rover's just now underway. I mean, I feel like the rover's been left idle for quite some time. Breaks through the side defense, depowers everything. The third base has been broken. Reynor's done it. Yeah, Reynor, he's done it. He breaks the third expansion. No more shield batteries, no more cannons. Oh no, the prism. Oh my god. Prism taking a lot of hits. And Creator's going to be knocked down to 2 bases. Down to 2. Reynor, now he starts droning up. A bold move. As Reynor, he is still behind economically. He still has a very low drone count. But he starts droning. We do have another hatchery on the way. Spire's on the way as well. Reynor, he feels like he can no longer kill Creator. I would agree. The Stalker count is quite high. A lot of Stalkers, Immortals. So Reynor, he backs off. He backs off, and the all-in doesn't kill Creator, but he does cripple. Does cripple, and now Reynor, he's able to expand, able to build up. We'll see if Reynor can keep Creator busy. If Creator moves out, then Creator could deny the 4th. He could force a cancel here and deny creep and apply more pressure. Problem is that Creator doesn't know what's going on. You can see he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know if Reynor is backing off to macro or backing off to regroup. For what Creator knows, Reynor could be gearing up for another wave, for another all-in. So Creator playing it safe, playing it scared. Now poking out. And he doesn't come in. Yeah, he doesn't move in. Mutas are on the way. Yeah, Reynor, he gets away with it. He gets away with expanding, gets away with droning. Creator who's just playing too scared. I don't blame him. Oh, Jesus. That one drop lord still gets away. And what is it to defend against the mutas? Looking at the bases, there is a cannon in the main to defend against the Dropper Lord. True, there's nothing here at the natural though. We have a massive amount of Winged Stalkers that will help. But these mutas are designed to get economic damage and designed to keep Creator busy while Reynor drones. That's my assumption, but Reynor, no, he's building up his ground army. Doesn't want to die suddenly. And Reynor's almost maxed. Jesus, almost maxed out here at 58 drones. So Reynor, he is going to commit. He's not droning up his 4th base at all. It's just here for Larva. So 3 base all in. He's going for a second all in. Mutas they do hit the main. They force a recall. Lings quick forward. Nice catch on the Stalker. Does catch one of the Stalkers, and Mutas they do hit the natural. Main army towards the 3rd. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, snipes a Prism. Prism goes down, army's collapsing in. There's one Colossus. It's so low. Yeah, Colossus is low at the same time. Reynor, he needs more link support here. He needs more buffer. Mutas they go for the dive. And they get the Colossus. Yeah, Colossus goes down. Barely gets one. There's one left. Reynor's trading well. Trading well. Gets 21 probe kills. Yeah, 21 workers go down. We do see Creator, he does chase, does punish the Ravagers at least. But Creator down to 44 workers. Again, barely an economy. Creator, he has to move out, and Reynor, all he has to do is just survive. Just survive the counterattack. Survive the aggression. Speaking of, Reynor's going for the run by. And Reynor, he's droning. I don't know if he needs to, but sure. Reynor, he's droning, saturating. I mean, technically, there's no pressure on Reynor. There's no pressure on him. He doesn't have to move out, doesn't have to be aggressive. He can just chill, calm down, take another base, and max out. And Reynor, he's about to. He's about to max out. Oh. While they rain down on the army, at the same time, Lings, they do hit the middle line, nothing to defend. That's the last bastion here of economy for Creator. That's all he has left, Pappy. That's all he's got. Army collapsing in, while they, oh my god, they take down Prism. Prism goes down, Oracle gets focused as well. And the Queens are helping, they're popping up. Stalkers, they trade well for themselves. True. Creator, he's holding his own. But he lost the 3rd. The 3rd base went down, so what you see is what you get. This army won't get any bigger. This is all the Creator has left. It's all he's got. Oh my god. Losing another Phoenix. Down to 19 Stalkers. Lings, they come in for the surround. They attempt to. There's some more good control there from Reynor. But takes down the army, takes down the Colossus. One Colossus remaining. He wants it. He wants it, Colossus. Oh no, ass. He gets it. Colossus goes down. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. A hyper aggressive series here, and again, that's kind of what we expect out of the meta. We were talking a lot about this over the weekend, but we have casted a lot of ZVPs already here tonight. Hero versus Lambo versus Creator, and Reynor versus Creator, and not a single time in any of these games have we ever had a standard macro game. It's been hyper aggression time and time again, just because of the maps. The maps do kind of lend it towards that. So here on Tourmaline does favor 3-base all-ins. We had Reynor doubling down, but not just that, it all began with Creator. It began with Creator being a little bit cheeky, hiding his oracles. Remember, he went for a stalker, he went Adept Stalker on the low ground at his natural. He hit his Stargate, banking up the oracles, hoping to find some damage, and he failed to do so. He failed to find damage, and he was forced to cancel his third, right? He lost his third base, and he failed to get damage done across the map, and Creator fell behind. He fell behind from there. Reynor, because he took a lead, he went for the 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in out of Reynor to punish Creator and to capitalize on Creator's rough early game, and yeah, Creator just could not keep up, could not stand up, but we saw him like technically survive and try to elongate the game, but again, just too many losses for Creator. The Mutas, they were able to just wreak havoc as well, and GG, well played. Reynor, he will advance on to the next round, to the semis. It's catching up. From here, we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be cutting to a short break here. When we come back, we'll have the semifinals. It is going to be Reynor advancing on to face off against Clem in the semis, and we have Solar versus MaxPax in the semifinals as well. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 64. Welcome back to the semi-finals. We've been casting nothing but ZVPs up until this point, following Lambo into Hero, into Creator, then Creator into Reynor, and now following Reynor into the semis. Finally taking a break from the non-stop ZVPs and embracing a bit of Terran with Clem versus Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be jumping into our Terran versus Zerg matchup. We're going to be jumping into Tourmaline for game one. Sorry, Title Citadel for game number one. Here we go again. It's nice to take a break from the non-stop ZVPs, and we'll see how Reynor can compare to Clem here. The ZVT matchup has been shifting quite a bit, quite heavily. There's a lot to get into. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. We go. Here we go. So jumping into our TVZ. Now, coming into the current meta, coming into what ZVT looks like post new mapple and post patch, of course, we have seen a rise and resurgence of Ling Bane Muta. Fast Muta play and Muta play in general has become more viable, especially on larger maps. Just because Ling Bane is more accessible as well. It all kind of plays into each other. Remember, there was a big change to the Baneling, where the Baneling does have extra HP post the upgrade, post centrifugal hooks. That does allow Ling Bane to be more viable, and that means that Roche based openers are less common. If you remember, 2024, 2023, it was very, very standard to open up Roach instead of Ling Bane, and we saw a lot of Roach Ravager into Ultra in recent years, or even just Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager, into these like slower, more methodical ZVTs instead in recent years. But now with the change, now with the buff, that means that Ling Bane is more viable, that means that Roaches aren't as necessary, and that means that Muta play is also more accessible thanks to the changes to the Spire as well. So a lot has changed, a lot has adapted, so we can see more intense, more back and forth mid-game, but we'll see how our players do decide to open up. We shall see. Likewise, Mech is still seen. Mech is still viable, but in a different way. Battle Mech, that is not as viable as the change of the Cyclone went through, of course. So whenever we see Mech, it's typically a more Hellion heavy into a more traditional form of Mech with mass tank. We've seen that quite a bit from players like Cure, from players like Maru. Now though, we're settling in. We didn't notice that Reynor went for a later gas geyser, so he went into a later gas. With this, we'll see if he does skip any tech. So Reynor was cutting corners early. So later link speed out of Reynor. Clem himself going for the initial Reaper scouts. And doesn't find a drone. Drone does survive. Reynor, upon going for a later gas geyser, he's also going for a later third base as well. We could actually decide to go for a Roach Warren here. What are we spending our gas on? Link speed, but take note, doesn't pull out of gas. So delayed link speed, still mining gas. This can lead a couple different ways. This can go into a fast lair, into fast spire, into Muta play. Otherwise, this could go into a faster Roach one. You can see we're pulling back into gas. I'm leaning more towards lair. It has to be. Like a 325 lair timing would make sense. Reynor, he's almost there when it comes to gas. Gasito. Meanwhile, behind this, Clem is going for a 3cc2-on-1. Going for an early sim timing. Reaper gonna be zoned away. We have the gas. There it is. Yep, 336 lair timing. Could have been a little bit earlier here, but regardless, 336. So insanely fast lair. This should be for 2-base Muta. So it should be 2-base Muta here. Now, technically, there is a build where you can go into really fast Hydras, into a Hydra heavy composition instead. That has been a build that has been popping up from time to time. We have seen Reynor do it in recent times as well. Gases are being taken, all 4 gases. Oh no, Rex! No! Esther X. Come back to us, Pappy. He's a Taiwanese caster, of course. But with all 4 gases, this should be Muta play. It should be Spire. Earlier, we had the option for this to be a Hydrogen. Oh. Reaver gets called out. Now, what has Clem seen? Clem didn't see the gases, he didn't see the lair, but he did see the lack of third, right? Insanely late third base, it screams 2-base play, either 2-base lair into 2-base Muta or fast roaches. Like, Clem knows something is wrong. And remember, Clem is going for an early sim timing anyway. There's a Spire, as you mentioned, all 4 gases, and the fast lair screams Muta play, so 2-base Muta out of Reynor. But this early sim timing is designed to punish and to almost hard counter 2-base Muta. Again, there's a lot of Marines, a lot of bio, medevacs are on the way. This is going to hit hard. We'll see if Reynor can survive this. Unfortunately, Reynor has 0 information. Like, Reynor has seen nothing. He knows nothing. I mean, he saw the Hellions, and he also sees the lack of Hellions. True, only 2. By this point, there should be 6. So the lack of Hellions here that's being revealed might tip Reynor off to play it safe here, that Marines are coming, and we already see Link production underway. We have a safety Bailey Nest as well before Eva Chambers, so Reynor, he might be able to survive this just because he's not droning up too heavily. Just because he knows that something is wrong, right? He's aware of the lower Hellion count. Meanwhile, medevacs have arrived. And we're waiting for that move out. As Clem pokes in, confirms no 4th expansion.
Complete.
Oh, and we're going to take a more defensive stance here. Now, I assume that Clem was going to go for his sim timing, but no, he's playing it safe. He doesn't really know. I mean, he hasn't confirmed himself what he's up against. So staying back at home, building up his Widow Mines. Widow Mines tells us that more or less he's aware. Yeah, he's got turrets. He's got safety turrets in the natural, in the main base. There's a scan. He confirms the Spire. Now he knows 100%. Now he's fully aware. Fully aware what's going on. There's his second factory. And he's just taking it, yeah, again, he's just taking a defensive stance, just ensuring that these mutas don't find any damage. And if these mutas don't find any damage, what does that mean? That means that Reynor, he delayed his Bailey Nest, he delayed his Bailey upgrades, he delayed his Eva Chambers. He doesn't even have them, by the way. Still no Eva Chambers, no upgrades. Reynor's falling behind. Ideally, these mutas, they catch medevacs. Ideally, they get SCV kills. They've got nothing so far. They've achieved nothing. And the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Clem. Unless Reynor can catch out some Marines. And Marines, they hold their own. Again, there are no Bailings here. So Clem just takes a better fight. We have 2-2 on the way. Still a 0-0 for Reynor. Ay, ay, ay. And Reynor, he's basically all in. It feels like a weird thing to say, just because, like, sure, he's got 4 bases, but he's not droning. Like, he's not droning his 4th. He's not taking up into Hive. He's not taking up into any upgrades. Like, Reynor, he is 3 base all in. 3 base all in here. It's all or nothing. The best that Reynor can hope for is that Clem moves out. If Clem can move out and Reynor can fight on his terms, then he can make this all in work. If Clem stays defensive, then Reynor, I don't see him breaking him. But so far, the defensive position here is not amazing. Reynor is about to max out. Where are those Widow Mines? Oh! Decent splits. Yeah, they are decent. Have mass links here towards the left-hand side as well. Catching up the Bailings. Very nice catch. Bailings go down. Thors are on the way. Clem, I believe he did spot those lings. Yeah, he's aware. Baiting him in. Oh my god, massive connections. Yeah, very nice Widow Mine shots. At the same time, medevacs are on their own, losing 1 medevac. So a bit of miscontrol here out of Clem. Mind shots are going to be going up. Ooh, not amazing on a couple of banelings. But Clem is still trading more efficiently. Now the Thors are here. Yeah, the Thor is here. Banelings, they roll in into the minefield. Oh my god. The banelings do nothing. And Reynor, he's dead in the water at this point. Like, remember, Reynor, he's not been droning, no saturation. Reynor's been all in this entire time. 0 upgrades for Reynor. 0 upgrades, 0 longevity. Collapsing in, takes down the Thor, but only the Thor. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A big gamble here out of Reynor. Again, Reynor, his goal was for Clem to push into him. So Clem to push into Reynor. And I don't blame him. Like, Clem, he's known for being very aggressive, very active, very in your face. That is Clem's style. And Reynor wanted Clem to be more aggressive, to be more active, but Clem was so patient. Once he realized something was wrong, something was amiss, he was very safe, very defensive. Sure, he was going into this early stim timing and early medevacs, but he chose not to push. He chose not to attack. He stayed back at home, threw down center towers, threw down missile turrets. Then, of course, he confirmed with the scan what was going on, and he just chilled back at home. And snowballed from there. GG. GG, well played with that. Clem takes the lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let's go. Loading into game 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 1-0. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Mothership, we have the red Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Reynor. Here we go. So we get into our TVZ. And we'll see if Reynor can recover and force the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. Now we're going to Mothership. Mothership is a very large map of the map pool. Unlike some of the other maps, unlike Title Citadel, Mothership has a very open bases, has a much more open 3rd, 4th, 5th base. I would say that in a longer game, I actually favor the Zerg player here just because the bases are much more difficult to defend. It's going to be difficult for Clem to turtle up back at home. So getting into a longer game state, I do favor Reynor's position. This is where I would expect to see Clem be more aggressive. I would expect Clem to be much more active, much more aggressive. Being defensive on Mothership is much more difficult to achieve. Now, hatch gas pool. This time we have a standard opener out of Reynor. Remember, last game, Reynor did not play standard. Reynor went for a later gas. He went for a later gas geyser into continued gas mining, though, into Rex into 2 base muta, into a 336 layer timing into 2 base muta. Rex, stay with us, papi. Stay with us. Yeah, much love to Rex. He's a great guy. The Tyrannosaurus himself, the king, papi. Rex, he at one point was a Taiwanese Zerg player, but nowadays he is a caster. He does devote, I mean, he still plays, he still is a very strong player, don't get me wrong, but nowadays he does devote a lot more time to casting, to content creation. But otherwise we do have Reynor moving out. That's why the Clem is nowhere to be found. Clem does break in, getting a Zergling so far. Not bad. Getting a Zergling and forcing out a gas geyser. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC before starports. Standard economic opener so far to Clem. We'll see if he goes for any earlier eBays. Or for a Rex. As the add-on solve 3 CC into starport into Banshee play. Okay, so everything's looking normal from Clem so far. Standard opener. Remember last game we went for an earlier sim timing. Likewise, this time, I mean, Clem, he at least does scout the third base, so he knows that this time we have a standard build at a Reynor. Remember, Reynor, he stayed on 2 bases longer last game. Oh, as Reynor, he's still in. Gee, oh, God. My apologies, I did miss this. Reynor went for a standard opener, except this time he's staying in gas. Stays in gas, and what are we spending it on? My assumption was for a fast lair, but no, it looks like he wants to go into fast +1 carapace. This is a Miyamika build. Okay. So fast carapace is on the way. I'm assuming it's going to be carapace. Oh, Clem not going for the add-on swap, but going Liberator first. Okay. Opens up Liberator, has potential for damage. So because there's no add-on swap, this means earlier stim. So stim is faster than usual, faster than normal, as usually you would add-on swap into Banshee play. So fast stim. A more aggressive build out of Clem. Meanwhile, yep, as we assumed, it is going to be fast carapace. Carapace is on the way for Reynor. Now, what does fast pulse on Carapace achieve? This is ideal against a bio-heavy composition. Against these early stim timings, you do want Carapace as quickly as possible, as it is the best upgrade against bio. When you're playing Ling Bane. Zoo threatened, they get a queen. Nice pick off, no transfuse. And not a Benji, no transfuse. Let me trades well. Liberator found no real damage here at the natural. And no drone kills. Clem pulls away. But now Reynor knows, right? Reynor, once again, just like last game, 0 scouting. Like, last game with Reynor, he had 0 scouting this time as well. So he's just playing off of vibes or playing off of what he's seeing. Now, because he just saw the Liberator, he now knows that it is fast stim. So now Reynor's aware. Getting to his 1/1 upgrades. Now there's a bit of a give and take here. Reynor's being quite greedy. Oh my god, the control. Clem shuts down the Lings. But Reynor, he's going for a late lair. You can see here, there's a 5:40 lair timing. Why is the lair so late? Well, fast +1 carapace and also fast +1 melee as well. So faster upgrades. This is a greedy style here by Reynor. We'll see if he can get away with it. The downside here, late lair, which means late overseer scout. It also means that late baneling speed. Right, late baneling speed, late tech. All in favor of faster upgrades, which does scale better into a longer game. True. Again, that's why this is greedy. And we'll see if we can get away with it. Clem is dropping. Now, because +1 carapace was resourced so quickly, it's ready for this. Like, +1 carapace is ready here at 620, is ready in time for the first double drop. So Reynor, he should be okay. Drop is spotted. We have 26 Lings to defend, and the Queens as well. Again, Reynor should be fine. Just zoning away. Ooh, we'll lose 1 Queen. That shouldn't have happened. Miscontrol there as he did miss the transfuse. Gets 2 Marines. Yeah, 2 Marines in total. Reynor holds. Reynor is holding on, getting another expansion, again building up into a longer game. As in chat, it's because you don't have to scout in ZVT. That is not true. Are you saying that it's wrong for Reynor and Cyril to scout, as they usually do? Here, I would say that Reynor is making a lot of assumptions. If you watch his series versus Maru, Reynor was scouting a lot. So that is a misconception. So be careful. Ooh, as the base is going to be denied. It's Reynor gambaying back. That's what these fungals does. Lock down the Marines. Oh my god, brutal mind connections though. Oh my god, yeah, we can just stand and fight. The mine shots are insane. So many links go down. I'm waiting for this to update. So many dead Zerglings. Clem does our trade. Behind this, we've got 2-2 on the way. We have Liberators to reinforce. Interesting. Going for more libs. That's 31 lings and an Infestor. Thankfully, there was some friendly fire. From here, Clem trying to commit. What am I shot? Oh my god, once again pops off. Jesus, that's what, 3 or 4 soul connections here this game so far. Ay, ay, ay. Clem's not done. Oh, has to be careful there. Has to respect the fungal. As what am I shot does not get baited. Oh my god. Once again, we have some decent connections. Clem establishing his own 4th base. His aggression has allowed him to expand. And Reynor, he's trying to survive, going purely Ling Ultra. This is a style that we have seen Reynor attempt to pull off. We've had some mixed results, is what I will say. We have some mixed results here. It's very greedy as he's doing this without any banelings. Marines are just rush into the natural. There's nothing to defend. And we're going for the base trade, going for a massive counterattack. I mean, that's all that Reynor can do. Ultras are on the way. Reynor has to go through the freedom zones into his own natural. Lings a bust into the mineral lines. One of my shots are going off. And does Clem have enough of the ultras? Oh, the fungals. Fungal goes off. The first ultra arrives. No upgrades. Yeah, no upgrades though. More chain fungals though. The fungals are popping off. He's holding. Yeah, Reynor, he's barely holding on back at home. There's still a handful of Marines. At the same time, he crippled the economy. Killed 43 SCVs. And Clem, he's hurting. Clem, he's hurting. Does kill 2 expansions though. Okay, we're getting rowdy. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Reynor is down to a 2-base economy. Meanwhile, Clem, can he save his planetary? He can. It saves the planetary. 2-base versus 2-base. GG gets called. Too many losses for Reynor, and Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A bold move here by Reynor. I feel like I say this all the time, but if you haven't been watching Reynor over the past 6 months, Reynor, he has this build which is very risky. As you saw, it's going at Ling into Infestor into Ultra. You're skipping Banelings, you're skipping Hydras, you're skipping Mutas, of course, you're skipping any anti-air, you're skipping any Banelings, and you're trying to rush into Ultras as quickly as possible. We've seen it fail more often than not, I'll be honest. If you remember, Serral did adopt this build against Clem in Maestros of the Game, and Clem did win that tournament, by the way. He did beat Serral in Maestros. So Clem, he was able to pop off there. It is a really nice build if you're left alone, right? If your opponent's more passive and more timid, and if they're a little bit less active and aggressive, and if you have a more defensive map, then you can get away with it. But it is a big risk here because you're so vulnerable to these bio pushes, because you have no banelings to rely upon. You're heavily reliant on those fungals, and we saw some okay fungals, but we saw better Widowmine shots. We saw better trades from Clem, just overwhelming and punishing Reynor. And sure, we saw some ultras towards the end, but again, they were engaging pre-upgrades. They didn't have kindness plating at the time, didn't have their upgrades, they weren't at their best, so the ultras were still dying to the mass marine. GG. GG, well played. Things were chaotic. Reynor, his best chance was the base trade, but alas, I didn't quite have enough to actually break through the walls or break the planetary, as he had pure Ling. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations to Clem. Clem does advance on to the grand finals, and up next we do have our next series. It is going to be the upper semis, Solar versus MaxPax. Let's go. Let's go. As we are getting into our next series, getting into our next best of 3, going to be a ZVP on Tourmaline. Here we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we go. Solar has been looking very impressive as of late in a ZVP. Solar has been hyper aggressive, and aggression is favored in this new map pool. Welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline has a very open third base, very open natural, just a very open map in general, and all-ins are favored here. That's why we have already seen plenty of aggressive builds by Reynor, by Lambo already on these maps, and we're expecting that out of Solar as well. We're expecting that, so we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. We'll see if we can defend. We have seen a rise in popularity of more defensive builds from Protoss players, and we'll see if that trend continues. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Baby Links. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great stream with Expedition 33. Hope you had a great time. Again, I hope you enjoyed the sound. I love the soundtrack. Hope you enjoyed the soundtrack, the art style as well. It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. No spoilers in the chat. No spoilers. But I hope you enjoyed yourself. The soundtrack map. As we are getting into our fresh series, our fresh best of 3. From here, Gay explained the Cybercore, standard open out to MaxPax, but winding it back here when it comes to the meta of PvZ, we have been seeing a lot more Protoss players be more tech heavy, be more defensive on 3 bases, building up into a more robo heavy composition. It is now quite rare to see Protoss players tech quickly into Sky Toss. We did see that quite a bit over the weekend in RSL, but that is purely because RSL has a old map pool, has a more unique map pool as well, which has more defensive maps like Tokamak. It does have Persephone as well, so it is easier to try to turtle up and rush into Sky Toss. We saw that a lot over the weekend, but that is unique to RSL. That is not applicable to the rest of the tournaments. It is less applicable here, as it is going to be the Stargate open out of MaxPax, opening up standard. So far so good. Oh my god. Solar, calm down. Calm down, baby. Solar to take his third. I would say currently the Solar has, or his best matchup is ZVP. Has been excelling so much, beating players like MaxPax, like Hero, like Classic. Solar has been excelling in recent times, but we've also seen a bit of a more growth period here for Protoss, where they've been adapting to the patch and to the maps over the past couple of weeks. As I mentioned, we have seen more, 3-base heavy play in recent weeks. There we go. You're an animal, Pap. You're an animal. No, no. See that does poke in. Let's poke in, gets a drone. MaxPax does opt to open up Adept into Stalker. Denies vision, denies scouting. Behind this, MaxPax can decide to throw down an earlier Twilight Council. We'll see. We'll see if he does decide to hide some tech. Yeah, speaking of, there it is, early Council out of MaxPax. Now, because it's so early, we have a couple of options here. This could be early Blink into an early Blink timing to try to strike the 4th base, or this could be early Glaive Adepts. Both are viable, both are options. We'll see if a Forge gets thrown down. Ooh, Solar is going for an earlier lair. Yeah, 418 lair timing. So lair first out of Solar. Gateways are being thrown down. There it is, early Blink. As I mentioned before, the goal here is to strike the 4th base. If we don't get a Forge whatsoever, this could be the beginning of an 8th gate of a 3-base all-in. So hyper aggression out of MaxPax. Remember, Solar doesn't know his Overlord got sniped. Overlord was sniped earlier. So MaxPax does pull away. Pulls away, later Forge. So far, Solar, he is taking his fourth. Again, this should be the target. The fourth base of Solar. Still just droning, no safety. Roach Warren, uh-oh. Yeah, going straight Ling Hydra. Straight Ling Hydra here. Remember, it was the faster layer. It was a later Eva chamber. Higher chance of going to +1 range because of that. And that means the Ling's going to be that much weaker against the Stalkers. No melee. And just no upgrades, period. Okay, here we go. Solar's in trouble. Solar, he's in a lot of trouble here. Solar, he has 15 Lings. Stalkers move in. Solar's got a chunk of Overlords on the way as well. Fourth base is exposed. As we mentioned before, that is going to be the target. Can MaxPax force a cancel? Reinforcements on the way. He wants that fourth. Can he get a kill even? As the hatchery does finish. Lings are amassing Hydras as well. Solar cutting works at 63. And the hatchery's less than half HP. Yeah, it's gonna go down. Solar tries to go for the surround. Transfuse keeping it alive, but the hatchery, it's gonna fall. Massive pick off the Lings. They get caught in the stasis. And things are looking dire here for Solar. Ay. He'll lose his fourth. Late upgrades. He's building up his Hydras, and it feels like he's forced into an all-in. So Ling Hydra all-in here. Soul's going to commit. Behind this, we almost have splash damage. Temple Archives on the way. MaxPax has to buy time for Storm. Has to buy time. Yeah, Solar, he avoids the army. At least trying to. Storm is on the way. Remember, there's a window in time here pre-Storm. There's a recall back home. Solar, he's going for it. Yeah, it's all or nothing. Turns away the Oracles. The Hydras are lacking upgrades. Yeah, they're still lacking upgrades here so far. MaxPax is holding on. He's keeping up. Storm is halfway done. MaxPax still needs a little bit more time. Un poquito más, papi. I just poke in. They chip away at the wall. MaxPax showing down just a wall of shield batteries. Yeah, batteries, cannons on the way. And that window's closing. The window is now closed. Storm is now done. And with Storm finishing, Solar, I don't think he can break MaxPax. Not anymore. Not like this. Now he's taking late infestation pits. No saturation. Again, this was an all-in. The all-in has failed. And Solar is stumbling his way into a longer game. There's a revelation. MaxPax, he confirms just how low the economy is for Solar. So there's no rush for MaxPax. As he still sees just how undersaturated this is. 5 VIP doesn't wear pants when he's casting. When I'm casting? Never back in it. Ay. Oh no. Look, now there's been a reasoning for it, okay? In Australia, we're deep in summer, okay? Very hot. Only animals wear pants. True. Only animals. As we are entering a longer game state, MaxPax, he successfully defended, had a very strong start, killing the fourth. Solar transitioning into lurkers. But again, the lurker tech is delayed. 4 lurkers morphing in. Oh no! Lurkers getting called out, losing 3 lurkers immediately. Doesn't get the High Templar. Ooh, losing a 4th lurker, losing 5. Yeah, 5 lurkers go down for nothing. Still around on the right hand side, Solar being pulled apart. And again, these losses are brutal. Didn't have many lurkers to begin with. Section coming in. Storm on the Lings. Yeah, there's the revelation. He just ignores them. MaxPax, he just ignores the lurkers, just walks past. Hits the third base. Zoning storms. Jesus. Yeah, Solar he cannot approach. Lurker den's exposed. Snipe on the lurker den. Here comes another storm. MaxPax just pushing further in. GG gets called. GG gets called. There's nothing left here, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Just a rough start there for Solar. Winding it back, remember Solar, he did decide to cut some corners. He went for a fast Lair into fast Hydras. Lack of upgrades, no plus on melee. It meant that his Ling Hydra was that much weaker early on. It was that much weaker, that much less efficient, that much less effective. As a result, going up against the earlier gateway, the earlier blink timing of MaxPax, he couldn't defend. He could not defend, could not save his expansion. In the end, Solar, he lost his 4th base, and there was a window in time where he could try to break MaxPax at his 3rd before Storm, but that window very quickly closed. Very quickly closed, and in the end, with Storm finishing, could no longer break the bases. He tried to transition, tried to take up into lurkers, but again, it was late tech, late lurkers, no hive. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax does overwhelm, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up in the chat. Hello, Wardy and friends. Wardy is elsewhere, baby, elsewhere. Just catching up. But spawning in the left-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss leading the series 1-0. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. And welcome one all to Celestial Enclave. Celestial Enclave is the most defensive map in the map pool. If a Protoss player were to want to try to be more defensive and rush into Skytoss, this is the best map for it. We do have the high ground natural base, we have the pocket 3rd or even pocket 4th expansion, and even then, when it comes to the triangular 3rd base, it is also very defendable. You can expand here with your army, push forward, wall up the ramp, and have a secure 4-base setup to get into Skytoss. So this is a really rough position series-wise for Solar. Game 1 was meant to be his game. We did mention it. Tourmaline is known for aggressive play, and it favors Zerg players that want to be aggressive. But Solar didn't go for an aggressive build. He went for a greedier build instead. He went into a faster Lair, faster Hydras, late upgrades, a later timing, and Solar was punished. He was punished in Game 1, and now coming into Game 2, there's a lot of pressure on Solar here. A lot of pressure. What is the plan? Now, trying to break a turtling player is insanely difficult on Celestial Enclave, but there are other options. Mutas, right? Going into a fast Lair, going to fast Spire, going to Muta play is a viable option here for Solar. For now, as he does take a much faster 3rd. Okay. Greedier build. A greedier start. Essentially, Solar's going to be delaying his queens. He can get 1, but just the 1. So only 1 queen here early on. He delays his 2nd queen for a faster 3rd hatchery. So Solar, he's cutting corners, being greedy. And greed is typically the name of the game here on Celestial Enclave. All about cutting those corners. The other option for Solar, which I feel like could be effective, is to be greedy, get a faster 4th base, take your gases, and go into a faster hive. Go into a faster hive into a faster lurker timing. That could work here. Let's try to break the natural or break the 4th base. But we'll see. For now, Stargate Opener. We're getting ahead of ourselves. That does move out. Does move out, does poke in. So far, just a standard Oracle Opener into a 3rd. The question is the timing of the tech. And again, I don't really feel like MaxPax needs to go for earlier tech. He can just chill, calm down, be defensive, or eyes them mainly on the Zerg. As Devs, they do get in. Where are the Lings? Getting 1, 2, 3 drone kills. Lings out of position. This is getting a bit out of hand here. 3 drone kills already. This should not have happened. Uh-oh. MaxPax, does he commit? Not quite. It doesn't commit, pulls away, going for the standard third base, goes for the linear third, doesn't go for the pocket, will save it for a fourth. So honestly, MaxPax in a solid position. Oracle moves in. Solar, he pulls back in. As he bleeds out more drones. Yeah, 2 more drones. 5 drones going down already. Ay, ay, ay. Is going to be Lair first again. Very fast Lair. At 410.
Research complete.
MaxPax, I believe, doesn't confirm. Now, last game, this led into a fast Hydrogen. This time, this could lead into a faster Spire. We'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, Gateway Explosion, late Forge, early Twilight Council. This looks like the same build. To be honest, I'm getting flashbacks from game 1. Where Solo's going for the fast Lair and MaxPax is going to earlier Blink. Just like game 1. So there it is. Blink is on the way. A little bit late. A little bit delayed. Oh, okay. Now, I assumed it was going to be a fast Lair into fast Spire or fast Hydras, but no, it's an all-in. Okay, so Link Queen Knight is all-in here out of Solar. Oh boy, this is one of the few all-ins that can work, especially because MaxPax took this base, right? Because he took the linear third, that means, hold up, the pocket base. The pocket base is a massive opening here, and Solar can just go straight for the pocket, straight for the all-in. End of position into the natural. Oh, did MaxPax see? He did. No shot. He scouted. Cannon's on the way. Cannon's on the way. Shield battery on the way as well. MaxPax, he checks the pocket. He finds it. No shot. He scouted. He confirmed. And MaxPax, he will shut this down. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for Solar. He's got to keep going. But alas, there's a wall back at home. There's an army here. The shield battery putting a lot of work. Stalkers, they just stand their ground. They shut down the Lings. Lings, they do nothing here at the third. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and MaxPax will take the series at 2-0. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. I like the idea there for Solar going for the all-in. It did make a lot of sense. Going for the 3-base all-in, going for the Nidus. Just because of the position of the expansion, unfortunately, the Adepts scouted. Remember, the Adepts, they shaded into the mineral line, into the natural base, which is where we happen to have the Nidus Worm, and MaxPax saw everything. He saw everything at the natural. That's why he was scouting. That's why he was checking his pocket, because he saw the Nidus. Otherwise, there would have been no reason to check the pocket base, and the all-in fails. With that, the all-in did fail. GG, well played, and MaxPax will advance on to the grand finals to face off against Clem in a best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. Did MaxPax have to go somewhere? I mean, it was Solar who failed the all-in, right? Like, was like that was less so on MaxPax, more so on Solar. When it comes to game 2, at least, game 1, we saw that MaxPax was more aggressive, but we expected to see aggression on Tourmaline, right? Like, the map does lend towards aggression, so that made sense in game 1 for MaxPax. Game 2, that was more on Solar. I mean, I say that he does not want to play standard on Celestial Enclave, of course. True, true. But there were options. There were options. As we get ready for the grand finals, un momento, as we set up our players. Beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. We have our best of 5 grand finals between Clem and MaxPax. We're jumping into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let us go. Now, when it comes to Clem and MaxPax, they do often trade. They do often trade back and forth. They are the best Terran and Protoss players in Europe, respectively. Of course, Clem being the best Terran in the world. MaxPax being up there amongst the top Protosses alongside Hero and Classic. They'll have their strengths, they'll have their weaknesses. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Whew, we have our best of 5. We have our grand finals here. Honestly, really short games. If I'm not mistaken, I might be misremembering, but I believe we didn't get a single macro game in the entire broadcast so far. Even like Clem versus Reynor, we had some really fast games and really aggressive series. Do we finally get there here between Clem and MaxPax? We'll see. We'll see. Up first, we do have 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is the most aggressive map in the map pool, or I should say it has the shortest rush distance. Shortest rush distance, we do have some more open and exposed bases, and we could see more aggression here as a result. Eyes are on Clem. Eyes are on Clem. Typically, these smaller maps do favor more all-ins or more aggressive builds from Terran players to end the game early. I say that this isn't the worst map to turtle up on 4 bases on. True, true. So we have options. Like, the map is small, yes, but the bases are relatively secure. We have seen a lot of diverse play on 10,000 feet. Show us what you got. For now, double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC out of Clem. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for a standard opener himself, walling off the Reaper cliff. Wall off. So our players are going to be opening up. From here we get into our tech of choice. It is not unviable to go for Stargate openers, but I would say that it is less favored on these smaller maps. Like, you can get away with it on Winter Madness or on Celestial Enclave or on White Rabbit, for example, but on these smaller maps it is quite risky. So because of that, we expect to see Twilight Council. Likewise, when it comes to Twilight Council and Blink play, 4-gate Blink is less favored here. As you can see, one of the biggest advantages of being hyper aggressive with Blink Stalkers is your ability to rotate between the main base and the natural, right? To rotate between the bases. Because of the terrain, because of these mineral walls, rotating between these 2 bases is insanely difficult, not very viable, not very efficient, because that 4-gate Blink is less accessible here on 10,000 feet, or just Blink aggression in general. So because of that, we imagine we should be seeing a safer opener out of MaxPax into a faster third, in towards the mid game, but we'll see. Clem does open Reaper Hellion. No big commitment, no reactor. No reactor in sight. Just some light aggression early on. As the Adept is going to be chased down. Oh, he tries to juke. Tries to, but won't be able to. The Reaper does fall. Behind this, we see MaxPax going into Blink. And how many gateways? We're expecting 3. For now, he has 2. Cool. There we go. 2 gateways into the Robo. We'll see if he throws out another. Clem setting up for the mine drop. And this Reaper Hellion is built to dive into a mineral line. Ideally, would have been triple Reaper, double Hellion, but did already lose 1. I'm trying to bait the army out. Not quite able to. Still looking for another opening. Checking the 3rd base. And MaxPax is playing safe. You can see here going for a 3rd gate. So 3rd gateway is on the way. My apologies. I say 3rd gateway. I mean, technically it is a 3rd gateway, but a 4th gateway in the main. Going 4-gate Blink. Okay, bold move. I did just mention that 4-gate Blink Stalker is less accessible, less viable here on this map, just because of the terrain. So to embrace 4-gate Blink Stalker, it's a bold move. It's a bold move. We'll see if we can pull this off. Now, he might still be able to just commit into one of these bases, into the natural, into the main. For now, gets in, gets 2 ACVs. Oh. Takes down 2 workers. Tank production has begun. What am I dropping to the natural? And Clem scouts an additional gateway. Does wall into main base, doesn't get further into the main though. And Clem is in the dark. Clem, he scouts 3 gates. He's got 3 gateways. He does see the prism. Setting up back at him. Bunker gets thrown down immediately. He needs those bunkers. He needs those tanks. Tanks are on the way. Banshee as well. Clem, he's in danger. His initial opener was shut down. We have 2 bunkers on the way, but they are late. He wasn't expecting these stalkers, and the bunkers, they won't finish. Yeah, they will not finish in time. Stalkers have arrived. They got 4 Marines so far. Yeah, massive pickoffs. Bunker does finish. Only 1. Because we have the mineral line, and the tanks, they're a little bit too far back. Again, the tanks are ready in the main, not ready at the natural. Yeah, not ready. The National going for a massive warp in, and Clem just caught with his pants down. Late bunkers. Again, he wasn't expecting 4-gate blink. I wasn't expecting 4-gate blink, but that's why it works. Okay. And once again, we don't really see that more nimble position where you can rotate back and forth between the bases. Just one massive push into the natural. Second bunker goes down. Tank till siege. And does set up. And remember, this is not an all-in. MaxPax is expanding. Does take his 3rd. Here he wants to bait out that tank shot. No bunker. He can dive. He can and he will. He does 1 shot. Tank goes down. Banshee as well. And GG gets called critical damage. MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Clem, unfortunately, he failed to scout the 4th gateway. If you remember, he saw 3. He saw 3 gateways with his Widowmine drop. He didn't see the final gateway in the main base, but it was also a later scout as well, just because the main base was less accessible to the Reapers, so Clem was playing blind. Once he realized what was happening, he threw down the bunkers, but too late, right? The bunkers were too late. It didn't have them set up preemptively because, again, he wasn't really expecting to see that much aggression out of MaxPax on 10,000 feet. GG. GG, well played. Clem caught with his pants down, and now we enter Old Republic with MaxPax taking a lead in the series. Let's go. MaxPax is up 1-0, and that's a rough one here. Usually these smaller maps, we favor the Terran, right? The Terran players usually favored on smaller maps as they can end the game earlier with some more aggressive builds. When it comes to these larger maps, this is where we favor the Protoss. We'll get into it. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran, the red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And this is where now I'm very concerned for Clem. Welcome to the Old Republic. This is a large map. True, it's a very large map, but has a very open 4th. Whether it's the low ground 4th base or the linear 4th base, it is very open. It is very accessible. It is very difficult to defend, and it favors whoever has map control. I should emphasize that as well. Whether it's the Terran, whether it's the Protoss, whoever has map control is going to be heavily favored when it comes to containing the opposing player. And I would say it is typically easier for the Protoss to gain map control here on a map like the Old Republic. We'll see how Clem will approach this. Single gas. Okay, already mixing it up. Single gas guys are going for a Rax Expand, switching it up and going for a more economic build this time. Let's go. So Clem is going for an economic opener. Makes sense on a larger map. MaxPax just being as annoying as possible. Oh. Does he pylon block? Doesn't have the money for it, and no, he delays. He does delay once again for a second time as well. Ay, ay, ay. Again, not the biggest delay here, but he forced down a second SCV. He did still delay the expansion nonetheless, and I'm sure it is getting into the mind of Clem a little bit here, being as annoying as possible, being irritating, I should say, early on. Meanwhile, Clem is hunting down that probe, and he, does find it. Finds the proxy as well. Bold move out of MaxPax, and you can see Clem, he actually purposefully doesn't go further in. So, bearing in mind, Clem has greater vision than the pylon. The Reaper has more vision than the pylon, than the building pylon, so Clem sees the pylon. MaxPax doesn't know he's been seen, and Clem is waiting for the pylon to finish to get it killed, not a cancel. So again, Clem, he's allowing this to progress so he can get more value. There we go. And now MaxPax knows he's got scouting. Yep, there's a cancel, and that means that will be a kill on the pylon. So sick moves there out of Clem. Just getting the most value out of this as he can. Behind this, going for a Twilight Council, getting to blink once again. So MaxPax getting to blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, Clem has had a bit of a stronger start here, getting to his own 1-1-1 follow-up. Reaper into the natural, killing 2 probes already. Very nice damage here by Clem. Gets 2 probes. Hit up Shades in. Denies some mining. Ooh, kills an SCV. Gets 1. And he gets 1 SCV, does deny some mining here at the natural, so there is some counter damage at least. But overall, a better start for Clem. How many gates? 1 in the main and 1 at the natural. So far, just 2 gate blink. We'll keep an eye on the gateway counts. Quick moves out of Clem, shuts down the Adept. Very nice. Does shut it down, and it is going to be 2 gate blink into a third. A very greedy build here by MaxPax. Going for the third base before the Robo, before the third gateway, before any additional gases. So hyper greed out of our Protoss player. We'll see if he can get away with it. We shall see. I would say that Clem has momentum, which is the reason why MaxPax is going for this greedy build. To make up for his losses. Clem, he does confirm the timing, he knows. Clem is now aware. I believe he already has his first tank. Speaking of, here it comes. He's got his tank, he's got an SCV, he's rallying everything across the map. The goal here is to break the third base. And MaxPax, he doesn't really have much to defend. Remember, MaxPax, he went for the greediest build you can. I mean, technically you can go like 1 gate into a third base, which is even crazier. But 2 gate blink, don't get much greedier than that. Clem, he has arrived, he wants that third. He wants it. And he will siege up within range. It does siege up. Blink is done. Ooh, a bit of miscontrol there. 1 Stalker goes down. Nice pick up here by Clem. Takes down the first Stalker. Within range of the Nexus. MaxPax trying to catch reinforcements, and he will get some. Oh, will not even. Doesn't get the Marines. Going for the tank. Oh. Doesn't get it. Yeah, doesn't get the tank. This base will fall. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, MaxPax just being too greedy. Didn't get away with it. Oh. Does come in during the unsiege. Doesn't quite get the tank though. Yeah, second tank has arrived. Cheeky move by Clem. Massive tank shot. Tank volley goes off. And MaxPax has to get the hell out of here. Tries to pull away, trying to get that tank. Not quite able to. GG gets called as Clem overwhelms, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very rough start there for MaxPax, going for the attempted proxy, failing to do so and being forced to cancel, losing a pylon, losing extra workers, Reapers popped off, and more importantly, did try to catch up and did try to recover by rushing to the fast third and got scattered immediately. Did get scattered, did get seen. As a result, he was punished. Clem, as soon as he saw that at third base, he just rushed into the tank, rushed across the map with everything he had. Didn't really have much to work with. It was like 1 tank, 1 cyclone, a handful of Marines, but it was more than what MaxPax had. That's just how greedy MaxPax was being. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth, and we are jumping into game 3. Who will take a lead in the series? Let's go. Loading into White Rabbit. Another one of these larger maps. Let's go. Another larger map is spawning in the bottom hand corner. We have our French Terran. We have the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Clem. Tying up the series 1-1, and spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. So we do have our series. Meanwhile, big shout out to Erebus Black in the chat for subscribing for 5 months, almost half a year of support. God, but yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for the support as we get into game number 3. We're currently tied up 1-1, and we'll see how our players do differ when it comes to their builds. Once again, this is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground, so going for an economic start would make sense once again out of Clem. Meanwhile, we'll see if MaxPax attempts to proxy 2 games in a row. Did attempt to last game and was found, was scouted, was shut down, was punished for it. Does he attempt it again, or do we calm down and go for a standard build? Oh, as Clem already does mix it up, double gas opener, going for a faster factory, a more tech heavy start out of Clem. It's gonna be more tech heavy. The probe does poke in. Pokes in, pulls away. MaxPax is just going for his own standard opener, and MaxPax does confirm the gases. It does confirm. Away. Behind this, we should be seeing a bit of a safer start. MaxPax is aware that, again, it's more tech heavy, into a more committed Widowmine drop, into, say, Cloak Banshee, into faster Cyclone play, into faster tank play. Clem has options. So that's CC on location. We see MaxPax already getting a safety shield battery on the low grounds, just being secure. That's Twilight Council. This Clem is zoned away. Gonna be zoned back. Meanwhile, we have the tech lab on the factory back at home. So we're not setting up for a Widowmine drop. This looks like more like a Cyclone opener instead. So no drop play this time, or no Widowmine drop specifically. Cyclone is on the way. With this, we can go for the early medevac, into tank, into a very early push. Clem's been very fond of it. Hydra on Clem. Yeah, there it is. Medevac is on the way. He's going for the early move out. We'll see if MaxPax can keep up. Shades in. Denies mining. Back at home, MaxPax is getting up to, I believe, 3 gates. Oh. As the Cyclone is revealed. So MaxPax, he knows. Seeing the Cyclone, now he knows that there's no Widowmine drop, for example. We have the early tank into early tank push. Again, Clem, he's committing very early on. He's doubling down. He's going for it. He's rushing across. MaxPax back at home. He's got a 3rd gateway on the way. So 3-gate blink. Very safe play to MaxPax. Getting into a 4th gateway. Ooh, this means he can counterattack. So the goal here is for MaxPax to survive and then to counterattack across the map. We'll see if he can. Very strong response here by MaxPax. I'm jumping in. He wants one of the Stalkers. Blink is not ready. Gets one. One Stalker goes down. Star steps in. Oof. Will lose a Cyclone, but does get a 2nd Stalker, and he will scout all the gateways. So Clem, he sees, he knows. Yeah, sees all the gateways, is aware of how aggressive MaxPax is being. And behind this, we need bunkers. We have 1 bunker on the low ground. We have 2 tanks so far. Decent setup. Tanks are sieging. Prism is on the way. And Clem should take a defensive stance. As we have, 1 tank in each base. 1 tank in each. And fun fact, as we have a bit of Yeah, miscontrol. Rushing forward. But because MaxPax knows he got scouted, he doesn't warp in. He warps in 4 Stalkers, but he actually leaves everything else back at home. MaxPax doesn't commit. Instead of warping in, he goes for the 3rd base. So nice reaction here by MaxPax. Respecting Clem enough to know that, hey, he got scouted, so he won't find any damage. Instead, taking his 3rd, which Clem scouts. Like Clem, he scouts the 3rd base, so he knows. And coming into this, I do favor Clem. Just because MaxPax, his 3rd base is late. It's a late 3rd base. Why is it late? Because of all the gateways, right? Because of the heavier gateway counts. Before expanding. A heavier gateway count that wasn't really done much with. MaxPax didn't achieve much with it. And we're building up into the sim timing. Meanwhile, MaxPax headed towards Colossus, not Storm. The Bay is on the way. Colossus are in production. Ooh, Raven gets caught. Nice pick off here by MaxPax, as Raven does not escape. Ooh, but at the same time, Reapers, they make up for that. They get into the 3rd base, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 probes. 5? Oh my god. 5 probes. 5 probes go down to the 3rd. A very nice pick off. Clem gaining momentum as he expands. Okay, 3rd CC's on the way, so no 2-base will in out of Clem. I mean, again, the map is just too large for that. So Clem takes the lead and is looking to get into a longer mid game. So there's a very high chance that the game is just going to slow down. It's just going to slow down quite heavily here as Clem expands. We'll see if he does go for a move out. Clem's very, I mean, I say Clem, Terran players have been quite vocal about in this kind of game state, especially in the latest patch, it is more viable to just turtle up and max out and get up to 4 bases and have a superior composition getting into ghosts. We'll see if that's the case here. So Prism is cornered. Viking is on the way. 3rd base is being taken. Prism does barely make it out. Barely not. Barely not. Prism goes down. Zealous as well. Nice defense here by Clem. Again, he's establishing his 3rd base. And then from here, we can set up some SimCity. Depots, turrets, sensor towers. Wall up with our tanks. They get a 4th CC and just turtle up. Again, that's kind of what we're expecting out of Clem. That's what the current meta does dictate. And we'll see if MaxPax can break a turtling Terran. Can break a turtling Clem. Oh. Nice force field. Slowks down 2 Marauders. 2 Marauders get picked up. MaxPax ready for his Zealot run by. Clem is at least going for a drop. He doesn't completely relinquish map control, but the Zealots, they spot him. Yeah, they spot the drop. Never mind. Clem pulling back. We're still lacking SimCity here, which is a little bit concerning. But Clem should be the first to max out. And again, if you haven't been watching StarCraft over the past couple of weeks, like, this is very common to just, if the Terran player takes a lead here in TVP, where they just sit back. They just sit back and be defensive. This is where it's on MaxPax to do a couple of things. One, he needs to mass expand. He needs to mass expand, take all the bases, get a greater economy, and try to catch up and keep up supply-wise, and then try to just hammer down and try to, like, break into these bases, trading up mainly Zealots. The other option is you can take up into Sky Toss, which is difficult to achieve, but it is an option here for MaxPax. Is like, hey, okay, you can just turtle up and wall up with your tanks, and you know what, I'm just going to get a fleet beacon, a Stargate, and work on Tempest production. As we can see, MaxPax is opting to stick with the Grand Army. So gateways, DTs, Zealots, going to amass a ground composition. He's not taking to the skies. Now, Clem shouldn't move out until he maxes out with Tank Ghost Liberator. Even if he does max out before that, he should be looking to refine his army before pushing with Liberators. We already have a 2nd starport. Second starport's on the way. Brings him into the main. Takes down the turret. Okay. Turret barely goes down. Nice EMP. Clem is holding. He's holding on. Our Templar, they threaten the army, but alas, Clem, he's ready. He's got his turrets. We should soon be seeing the fusion core. That'll be for the Liberators. Oh, Clem is going for the triangular third. That's going to be difficult. So very quickly, when it comes to this kind of game state here, and again, Clem's win condition is turtle until he perfects his army. But specifically, this triangular third and the linear third are very spread apart. Clem is going to be spread thin. This is going to give MaxPax a window of opportunity to actually break Clem to fight with half his army. And here we go, he's collapsing in, getting a little bit of Ghost. Yeah, Ghosts are going down, no Sim City, massive pick up here from MaxPax. Vikings, they hold their own there. Yeah, they hold their own. They get one of the Colossus. They get one, they get two. Does he get all three? He does. Yeah, all three Colossus go down. The Vikings, they punish. Zealous traded well, but MaxPax gets punished. Ay, ay, ay. Losing almost every Colossus, and this would have been fine if he had escaped with the Colossi. That wasn't the case. That was not worth it for MaxPax. Clem, he successfully defends. And we should be seeing that fusion core soon. Soon, yeah. There it is. As if on cue, fusion core is on the way. That's going to be for Liberators. And again, Clem should not move out. He's just chilling, building up. We can see MaxPax working towards disruptors. That is a way to approach the later game. It's quite difficult. Okay, switching into disruptors. Other reasoning for this is disruptors are safe against Vikings, and they're also safe against EMPs. So eventually in a later game, we do want disruptors. So they collapse in, they take down the initial bunker. Never goes up. No major connection. We get some decent pickups here, catching out some Marines. And again, this is all that MaxPax has to do, is just like poke in, trade out Zealots, pull away, look for another opening, look for another avenue of attack. I do think that there are opportunities here just because Clem is spread thin, but he has some nice SimCity here on the right hand side. Like, this position is looking very fortified. The area in between the bases is more open. Meanwhile, the triangular third base is also a little more open as well. MaxPax moves in, gets up the ramp, never goes off. Ooh, nice connection. Yeah, never connects. So far, some solid connections here with those disruptors. MaxPax pulls away. He'll lose the final. Oh, barely saves the final Colossus. Does save. And it's on MaxPax to do everything he can to make sure that Clem never takes a fifth. So on 4 bases, he should never get a fifth. And even here on 4 bases, he's a little bit more vulnerable. And we're collapsing in once again as Zelsa gets on top of the Ghost. Tank goes down as well. Again, this area is much more open. Snows are going off. No major connections. Clem holds. So far so good. He is holding on. MaxPax is going to warp in and do that again. And just keep going. Just keep going. How many gateways? 20. 20 gateways. We could do with up to like 25, but sure. 20 gateways. Fifth base on the way is going to be denied. Remember, this is the win condition for MaxPax, is make sure Clem never expands. I mean, it's twofold. It's one, make sure Clem never expands, but two, make sure you're always trading with Clem's army to force him to spend his resources and dry him out. The Liberator does push forward. Remember, there's no tanks with this. There's no tanks. There's no SimCity. This area is more open, but this is very Stalker heavy. Where are the Zealots? He goes off. Yeah, Zealot's not coming in. Nice splits out of Clem. Yeah, Novas are not quite connecting. Zealot's now, they've arrived. Oh my, the splits, Pappy. Jesus. Clem, he's crazy. Yeah, splits are crazy, and MaxPax is going to be forced back. But again, he just had a very Stalker-heavy composition. Nice Nova towards the end. Yeah, better Nova towards the end. And what's important here is the Zealots, one, they're too late, but two, Clem gets his 5th. This should not have happened. This should not have happened. Clem establishing a 5th base here is a critical moment in this game. It's a game-winning moment for Clem. If he can hold on to this 5th base, then he's going to have a bank, and he's going to be able to accrue that bank, and he's just going to be able to outtrade MaxPax. Nova does connect. Nice target firing, shutting down 2 of those disruptors. Zealots just try to collapse in. We get an okay Nova towards the end, but yeah, not good enough. As Max actually lost every disruptor. Every disruptor went down. Now we're switching into Mass Colossus. Oh god. The problem here is there's still Vikings. There's still Vikings left over. So switching back into Colossus. Again, the moment of this game, like the moment was when Clem took his 5th. When Clem took his 5th base, when MaxPax warped in a massive amount of Stalkers instead of Zealots. And MaxPax is in trouble. Okay, going into mass CTs. This was spotted. Shotpick goes down. Zealots are shut down as well. Sorry, DT run by gets denied. Nice target firing on top of the disruptors. Finds a straight war prism. Colossus have arrived, but he's up against 12 Liberators. That's a lot of freedom. Now, when the Terran player hits critical mass of Liberator, if the Protoss has no Sky Toss, then it is insanely difficult to try to break through all these freedom zones with purely Stalker. We have to rotate. He has to find another way in. He cannot push into these freedom zones. It's too much liberation. Tries to blink in. Liberators do set up. He's going back MaxPax. And we spoke about it, right? Like Clem, his goal here was never to push until he perfects his army. At this point, I would say it's near perfect. Like he's got Liberator, Ghost, Viking, Bio. This was his end goal. And MaxPax, he tried to end it before Sky Toss and he failed to do so. Now, there's still potential here for MaxPax to try to like engage early on, get a decent trade, then pull back and warp in more Zealots. Oof. How many Vikings? 9. There's 9. You see Clem just hoping and waiting for MaxPax to take a bad fight. It's also on Clem to unsiege, re-siege, and reposition his Liberators to keep up the rotations. So far, he's doing it. That's so good. Now we get Skies. Oh boy. So Stargate's on the way, +1 is on the way. MaxPax is now thinking about Sky Toss, but this is very late. We'll see if we can get there. As he breaks out. Yeah, here comes a breakout. Nice Storm. Storm connects, we get a better EMP. Massive Storm on the Ghost. Jesus, oh god, no, he goes back into the Storm. The Storm was solid. But the Colossi go down, no more splash damage. That is enough to deter. Yeah, it deters Clem. Again, he stood in so much of that Storm that he has to back off and rebuild. This is giving MaxPax time to switch into Sky Toss. The Stargates are coming. But again, this was very stubborn of MaxPax. It was very, very stubborn to wait this long to go for the Stargates. Because of that, he can be punished for it. Nice figures with the Stalkers. Liberators late to siege. Okay. Miscontrol out of Clem. Clem Hill's focusing elsewhere. Focusing on his drop. And MaxPax still doesn't have a fleet beacon, by the way. He's got 3 Stargates and +1 on the way, but no fleet beacon. Oh, that's 2 Liberators. Not bad. Oh, Jesus, but here comes the main army. Clem, he breaks out. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he has an opening. Yeah, there is an opening here. As Clem has no army. Gets 1 Ghost. Gets 1, 2, 3. Oh, never mind. Nice clutch cloak. Very clutch. Storm of the Vikings. Center left goes down. And hopefully Clem doesn't abandon the air. There we go. Does reposition. Tiles look to reposition. Clem getting a 6th expansion up and running. Ay, ay, ay. Fleet beacon is just now on the way. Yo, we're gonna get the 22-minute fleet beacon. Let's go. No, the ghost. He wants the EMPs. He's coming for him. There's no observer. Gets a snipe off. Gets a high Templar. Templar goes down. MaxPax bullied back. Observers are not coming in. He's making 4 Tempests at a time. Now, I was critical here of MaxPax for his late Stargates and his late Tempest production, but he's getting there. Like, he's getting there. And if he can start to incorporate Tempest, then he can pick away at this army. MaxPax is almost there. Nice Storm. This 1 snipe goes off. Storm connects. Yeah, it does rush through. Another Storm. Oh my god. Clem has to respect it. As Clem, he'll lose most of his Vikings. Down to how many? Down to 4. Just a handful of Vikings left. Storms have been powerful, but the Tempests are exposed. Yeah, Clem is committing in. He's committing in, and now there are no more Storms. Yeah, 0 Storms left. Only 1 Colossus. Army stims in, and Clem should break this position. Should break the army. Yeah, Zealots are trickling forward. We have Mass Ghost here that's cloaked. Just free damage. The Ghosts are going for the Tempest. No! Yeah, 0 detection. Tempest goes down. The base will fall, and Clem, he's done it. He's broken the back of MaxPax. Again, this was kind of decided earlier. We spoke about it, right? The moment of the game was when Clem took his 5th. When he took his 5th base, like, that was game then and there. Or that put so much pressure on MaxPax to achieve so much more that he just couldn't break the 5th. Couldn't deny the 6th. Couldn't stop Clem from just outscaling. If we had a faster transition into Tempest, then maybe we could have seen something more here from MaxPax, but again, his fleet beacon finished like just under 22 minutes. Like, it was so late. And now you can see the Tempests are able to have their way with the Liberators, but again, we needed this like 10 minutes ago. Or at least 8 minutes ago. Oh, and mass EMP. EMP on the Templar. Clem is pushing in. No Storms. Liberation has arrived. And he should be able to break through this. And takes down the Zealots, gets into the Colossus. Max actually forced further back. He plummets in supply. And again, the Tempests are trading well for themselves. If only we got them sooner, pap. Yeah. Aye. The other Tempest goes down. Once again, there's just barely a Grand Army standing. We still have the 1 Colossus at least, and now we have a Storm coming in. Storm does graze the army, but GG gets called. GG gets called. Clem will take a 2-1 lead in the series. He is 1 game away from becoming our champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth here. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, once Clem took a lead in the series, his goal was to just turtle up, to take that lead and extend it by just turtling up back at home, building up on a 3, 4, and then eventually 5 bases. The pressure was on MaxPax to stop that from happening, to be able to break the 4-basing player and to deny the 5th. If you recall, there was a pivotal moment when MaxPax was outside of the 5th base, was looking at it being taken, and he warped in a wave of Stalkers instead of Zealots, which means he didn't have an army to actually engage with Clem. It was too Stalker heavy. He had a couple of Disruptors, but again, he just could not collapse in on the army. His army was too expensive, too gas heavy with all those Stalkers, and he was just bullied back. It was bullied back. Once the 5th base was taken, momentum was taken away from MaxPax and given to Clem instead. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes a lead, and now we're going to be loading into a much smaller map, going to be loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. Let us go. Loading into a much smaller, much more aggressive map in the map pool. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Here we go. We are going to be settling in to game 4. Clem has a lead, and welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a much smaller map in the map pool, much more aggressive map as well. We expect to see all-ins, we expect to see our players get into each other's faces. It is difficult to defend on 3, 4, and 5 bases here on Tourmaline, so we expect to see a shorter, more aggressive game instead. What we saw in White Rabbit is because of how large the map is, how many bases there are, and how defendable it is on 4 bases. That is unique to White Rabbit, less so to Tourmaline. So far, double gas opener, faster factory, more tech heavy starts. This can lead into an early Cyclone drop. This can lead into Widow Mines. Can lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion. Show us what you got. As MaxPax does confirm, he confirms the double gases. Max is aware. We're building up. One day, Protoss players remember how fast carriers with upgrades outscaled by a Viking, and that will be a sad day for Terran players everywhere. What are you on about? For those that are curious, when it comes, I mean, we already spoke about it during the last game, but ideally you do want to switch into a more Tempest heavy composition if you're failing. If you fail to break the 5th and fail to deny that base being taken, then ideally you do want to start to switch out. It's a really hard call to make, switching into Tempest, just because it's kind of like you're admitting that like the aggressive like ground army has failed, and that you just like can't stop the Terran player from just outscaling and perfecting their army. So it's a hard pill to swallow, and eventually MaxPax did swallow that pill, but it took so long. As we pointed out, like again, it was like what, 22 minutes by the time the fleet beacon finished. The goal there and the hope was that he could try to break Clem earlier, and clearly that wasn't the case. I would imagine this is a bit of a meta like response, but I would imagine as we get more and more into this patch and into this map pool, and when it gets more apparent that this kind of game state is more common, where the Protoss player can no longer break a 5-basing Terran, that they will be a lot faster and a lot more willing to embrace a fleet beacon. Like I would imagine that that's how the meta is going to shift over the next couple of weeks, is that Protoss players are a lot more willing to switch out of ground toss. Right now they're kind of locked into that kind of mindset just because of the previous patch and the previous map pool, but as that happens more and more, I do think that Protoss players are going to be more willing to get out of that. It just takes time. At least that's my prediction, at least. When it comes to how TVP will shift over time. It's either that or on these more defensive maps, we just see like all-ins. we just see like hyper-aggressive all-ins out of Protoss to just avoid the late game. On maps like White Rabbit or Celestial Enclave, or there's another map that I'm forgetting. White Rabbit, Celestial Enclave, and Winter Madness. That's it, Winter Madness. I would say those are the 3 best maps for that. Meanwhile, we do open up with a Widowmine drop. Widowmine drop into the main base. Does drop in, and we do have Clem setting up for an earlier stim timing. So earlier stim here out of Clem, going to be delaying and kind of skipping any kind of like Viking or Medevac or Liberator production here. So it's going to be a much earlier push out of our Terran. Is building up, getting ready for that. So meanwhile, back at home, it is going to be a Blink based opener. We have our Twilight Council, gateways being thrown down. Blink is now done, and once again we have 4-gate Blink out of MaxPax. Let's go for the 3rd time this series. Okay, and again, this is kind of what we expect on these smaller, more aggressive maps. We saw this on 10,000 feet. We saw this attempted on Winter Madness, true. Dives in, it does go for the dive, takes down the tank, tank does fall. Nice pickup. And again, we have the 2nd tank in the main base of the rally here. It doesn't quite rally to the natural, not to the low ground. Clem taking some hefty losses here. At the same time, dropping into the main, forcing a defensive warp in. Does force back home, but so far a better position here for MaxPax. As he defends, he sniped the tank. This does weaken any kind of move out that Clem was hoping for, and MaxPax was quick to get his 3rd, so it gets his 3rd base. I mean, it's a delayed 3rd, but fast decision after the 4-gate. From here, pulling back, denying mining, and just poking at Clem. Now, the question that we have here is Clem going to throw down 2 more Maxes or throw down a 3rd TC? It's getting another gas geyser. Clem is still contained. Going for the dive once again, sniping the tank. This is getting out of hand. Yeah, the bunker is going to fall. No more tanks, no more bunker. Clem is in danger here. He does have stim. He can stim forward. But again, he has no backbone to this army. And he's stuck trading while MaxPax saturates. While he gets his 3rd base up and running, gets saturated, builds up his economy. Now there's no tank in the main, which means MaxPax, he can just go for the rotation. Oh, going for the reactor. Doesn't quite get it. But again, this is all just keeping Clem busy back at home. Just poking away at his defenses. Bringing them down. And being greedy behind it. Soon, MaxPax can even take a 4th. And back into the main base. This time he will get the reactor. And reactor falls, limited medevac production. We have a 3rd TC on the way for Clem. He's going to try to turtle and try to break out and try to expand. Try to macro out of this. But MaxPax is in control. He's just in control of this game. 4th Nexus on the way. Snipes a medevac. Oh gosh. Gets a medevac as well. And the problem here is that Clem, he doesn't really have enough to break out. I mean, his tank almost reset. Sold the tanks earlier, down to 1. Again, he's getting his 3rd base. You know, MaxPax just enjoying his map control. Getting his 4th operational. MaxPax is going to be the first to max out. And Clem, he's got a ways to go. He's got a ways to go here. And with that, MaxPax collapsing in, getting on top of the final tank. Tank goes down. Widow Mines are still yet to set up. And MaxPax just going for the kill, going for the throats. Again, he's just gotten so much momentum this game. With more Zealots, he can just get on top of the bio. Turning away, GG gets called. It's just too much. MaxPax snowballs out of control, and he will tab the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We're going to game 5, winding it back. And remember, MaxPax, he went 4-gate blink. He went for 4-gate blink stalk, and he achieved so much damage early on, sniping 2 tanks, the bunker, SCVs, medevacs, reactors as well, just bullying Clem and keeping on 2 bases and just mass expanding, getting his 3rd, getting his 4th base, getting a massive economic lead, translating into a larger army, coming into the mid game, coming into that final push. GG. GG, well played. Oh, MaxPax beating Clem to that more aggressive early game and being able to overwhelm. And that leads us here into the ace match. It leads us here into the final game of the series. We're going to be loading into Title Citadel for that final game. Let's go. Let us go. But I do find it interesting. That was the 3rd time this series that we saw MaxPax go 4-gate blink, just hyper aggressive and finding success. Mixed results, I suppose, as it did fail on White Rabbits, but at least on the smaller maps was able to succeed, was able to overwhelm. If you recall, did so on 10,000 feet and on Tourmaline successfully. And now we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the blue Protoss player, the Danish Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. I told you describing the past but not the future. I mean, what I was referencing, what I was talking about in regards to how the meta can shift, I can even see that with players playing around a little bit more with Skytools and with carriers even. This is like a situation where if the Protoss player finds themselves in a situation where the Terran player is being very turtle heavy and being very defensive and getting up to 3, 4, and then 5 bases, you can take advantage of that passivity and try to be greedy behind it by not even just going into Tempest, but potentially just Skytools as a whole. We'll see how the meta does evolve over time. For now though, welcome to Title Citadel. This is a larger map of the map pool. That is true, it is a larger map. We have a lot of bases to take as well, but the defensive setup here is a little bit more awkward. What do I mean by that? The 3rd expansion, the triangular 3rd base and the linear 3rd base are very spread out. They're very spread out, so there's a lot of space in between, so being the defending player and rotating back and forth between these bases can be very difficult. On top of that, this map has another big feature that favors whoever has map control, typically Protoss in TVP, the gold. The gold base here. Because of this, if we end up in a situation in the mid game where Clem is stuck at home, stuck getting his 3rd and getting his 4th base, then MaxPax doesn't just have map control, he has a free gold. He has a free gold base to have a massive boost in mineral income, to go for a very zealot heavy mid game to break a defending player. So that's something that's going to be more applicable in a longer game state if we end up in something similar to White Rabbits. For now though, economic start. Single gas opener out of Clem, going Rax Expand. Going for the Rax Expand, economic opener out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, we do have our factory follow-up, and we'll see what MaxPax goes for. Twilight Council again. Does he go for a Stargate opener, for example? If he goes Twilight Council, how many gateways? How aggressive does he plan on being? I don't really like the idea too much of going 4-gate blink on Title Citadel. I don't know if it's necessary. We'll see if he plays it out safe or greedily. Now Twilight Council is on the way. Going for his council. Reaper dipping in between the bases. Have our 1-1-1 from Clem. Adept gets behind the mineral line, not bad. Denying mining. Denies mining, denies the economy. The Reaper does not get any probe kills. So far, so good for MaxPax. See MJG in the chat? Yes, is the answer. Because the tournament that is happening at the moment just began, and it goes for another 4 hours, and it usually ends at around 4 AM my time. I would like to be asleep at 4 a.m. So yes is the answer. There is a reason. Blame daylight savings happening in Europe. Feels bad, man. But daylight savings hit Europa, so now it starts very late. Compared to when it used to. For now though, MaxPax getting his third base. Oh, sorry, winding it back, talking about the initial opener here. It is going to be 2-gate blink into a third base, so relatively economic start here from MaxPax. Did go for the robo lease before expanding, but overall economic start. So we have the Widowmine drop into the main. The drop moves in. Widowmine's do burrow. Shot goes off, and so far gets one Stalker. Gets a Stalker, denies more mining time. Nice retargeting here out of Clem. Being as annoying as possible. And there we go. One more probe goes down, but alas, did deny so much mining in the main. Not bad. Not bad at all. Gets a full scout. So the medevac does, of course, confirm the third base. Does pull away. So Clem, he's aware that MaxPax has been more economic. We're building. We are building up. And from here, we're probably just going to slow things down. Clem, we're expecting to see a third CC momentarily, building up into a third base, and then turtling up back at home before building up into a fourth. There we go, third CC is on the way. And if that's the case, if Clem is going to take a slower approach, I'm going to be concerned. Now, the one chance he has is medevac play, is going for drops. That's where the Observer comes into play. We have MaxPax with Vision here in the main base in the third. We have Stalkers on patrol on the left-hand side. Another Observer is moving out. It is on MaxPax to keep up with any kind of attempted drop play and attempted move out that Clem has to offer. So MaxPax just maintaining map control, and if you recall, something we did mention at the start of the game is that if MaxPax can contain Clem, he can get rewarded with the gold. The gold base will be his reward as a fourth, and from there he can just snowball out of control. So the pressure is on Clem. He does spot the Observer. Not bad. Observer gets sniped. Stalkers, they do try to engage. And Clem veers off towards the left-hand side. Does peel off with his double drop. There is a Prism moving into Scout. And he does spot this. Oh. Or does he? Yeah, there he does. Does spot the medevacs. MaxPax is aware. He rotates over. And rotates, snipes the medevacs. Gets one. Does get one. Clemmy breaks out. He's committing. Commits across. Colossi are on the way. Oh! And Clem, can he deny the fourth base? I mean, he could. There's plenty of bio. Alas, just now Scouts sees the fourth at the same time. Oh, Zealots hit the third base of Clem, causing distraction. And Max actually keeps up. He keeps up with the rotation, keeps up with the army. More Zealots are on the way. And Clem doesn't find a way in. There was an opening earlier, but he does miss his timing. Missed the window. Dropping towards the left. Okay, going for a split push. Gets into the mineral line. Max looks out of position. But who catches who? Uh-oh. And that's going to be 6 probes going down. At the same time, Zealots hit the mineral line of Clem. SCVs are also falling. Oh, as more Zealots have arrived. Getting in, that's going to be 5 more dead SCVs. Clemmy does push with his main army. Colossus is ready. Shows the force fields. Up. And he does force field. Does deny Clem. That's gonna be 13 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. And Max actually comes out ahead as more results have arrived. They hit the natural. Clem getting pulled apart. 22? Oh my god. 22 SCVs. Clem is committed. He's going for the Doom drop into the main. He has to get some damage done. And Clem commits in, but last he's forced to pick up. Bleeding out Marauders. Expensive losses here for Clem. And Clem is in trouble here. Losing 22 SCVs. The aggression has failed. He's forced back home. And Max actually breaks down. He breaks out. He has map control. He has momentum. Clem is in trouble. Oh. So Colossus move in. The prism did go down, so no war prism, no reinforcements. Max actually has to be careful. Trying to bully back the army. There's a good amount of Vikings though. Vikings have arrived. Decent trades here with the Colossus. That's a lot of swipes on the pyre. But these weapons are so delayed. Yeah, so very delayed here. Still decent trades from the Protoss. Once again, picking up more Marines. Zealots take Kai back. Another Colossus has arrived. Boys are being pulled. The boys are forced to be lifted. And does he have enough? Oh my god. It's still so close. Yes, Clem, he's trying to hold on, but GG gets called. Too many losses. Another 11 dead ACVs. The third base was broken. And MaxPax, he will take the series at 3-2, becoming this week's champion. GG. GG, well played again. Just a really rough start for Clem to lose 22 SCVs to the Zealot run by. That was brutal. Zealot to the third base, Zealot to the natural, critical damage. Alas, we saw that Max actually was just out trading Clem with the Colossus. Technically, yes, Clem, he quote-unquote survived there, but he had taken so many losses that he just fell too far behind, right? Losing so many SCVs, losing so much of his army. GG. GG, well played with that MaxPax Delta Worm. He never even had the opportunity to take the gold. Like we were hyping up the gold base on this map that MaxPax could take, but didn't even need it just because of how much damage the Zealots were achieving. This also leads into what we said at the beginning of the game, how the bases are so spread out, right? The bases on Title Citadel, they're so spread out. So Clem trying to respond and trying to react and trying to defend against the Zealot counterattacks, it was so difficult to achieve that. It was so delayed to rotate, to move his army. He was being pulled apart. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax as he does bring Clem down. GG. GG, well played. Again, these two players, they often do trade back and forth. They often have their own series. MaxPax, he wins here on WardiTV Monday, and I believe Clem last week did win the Monday Night Weekly over MaxPax. So they do trade back and forth. And the end, MaxPax does take it down, Clem. Congratulations. GG, well played. Again, a very intense broadcast here in a very intense series. We finally did get some late game between MaxPax and Clem. We casted a lot of ZVPs today, and a lot of short games as a result. A lot of hyper aggression, even between Reynor and Clem. Also some really short games. I do recommend it though. It was a lot of fun. Very high octane Night of StarCraft. I do recommend the VODs, !socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do stream on YouTube at the same time as Twitch, and we upload to YouTube on a daily basis. So if you missed out on some games, then do check it out over on YouTube, as it is all there under the live tab or uploaded onto YouTube a little bit later. So it is all there. As a reminder, WardiTV Mondays, these are weekly tournaments. Every single week there is a WardiTV Monday. I believe there was someone asking in the chat earlier about our coverage of it. We used to cover it live every single week, but because of daylight savings, it now starts very late in the evening. Fun fact, it is 11:30 p.m. at the moment, and it usually starts at around 11 p.m. here in Australia, and it usually ends around 4 a.m. So it ends very, very late, and unfortunately I don't have the luxury of being able to do those kind of casts anymore. I used to be able to, like, regardless of start time, we just commit, but nowadays, like, I have my own commitments IRL. You know, I got my bunnies I gotta look after, gotta let them out, gotta feed them, get them some food, let them free roam and all that stuff. So I just don't have the time to cast at this late in the evening. going up to like 4 a.m. It's yeah, something that I can't really do at the moment, at least. But regardless, GG will play. Congratulations to MaxPax. And regardless, even if we can't cast WardiTV Mondays on a live, then we can always cast it via replays after the fact. So it's all good. We do have access to those replays. Otherwise, if you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, so you can see our weekly schedule here. Here we go. Oh, this is last week's schedule. As you saw, we were so busy with RSL over the weekend. It was a very intense broadcast. We did have the rival StarCraft League on the channel. Tomorrow we should be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. Sparkling Tuna Cup was moved to Tuesday because of RSL over the weekend. So we had RSL over the weekend, so we had to reschedule Tuna Cup. That is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Otherwise, we have Pigstar Cup on Wednesday. We have the Pondcast on Thursday. We have StarCraft Evolution League, MSO, and more Tuna Cup towards the end of the year, towards Christmas. Oh boy. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hope you guys have a great end of year coming into Christmas, coming into the holidays, coming into New Year's. Hope you enjoy yourselves and stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is streaming? I know that Wardy, he is covering WardiTV Monday number 65. We have Harsim, who I believe is also streaming and also casting. Loco, he's casting the RSL replays. What else we have? Well, we could give Harsim some love. Give him some love. Give him some support. Just catching up. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Again, stick around. We're going to be getting another StarCraft stream a raid. We'll give some love to old mate Harston, who I believe should be casting as well over on his channel. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thanks so much. You can also support us via Patreon, Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. It funds the Tuna Cup. It funds the Sea Duckling Open and the Master Swan Open as well. It is all funded via Patreon, so you can support us there if you wish. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sparkling Tuna Cup in less than 24 hours. We'll see you then. We'll see you then. Until then, ciao, papi ciao, hasta luego. Take care. Happy holidays.